good? What's good? Welcome to the R.O.A.D podcast, Reflections of a DJ. I'm DJ Crooked. We have Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
We have DJ Never.
Yo, what up?
We have we have DJ D Miles.
Good afternoon.
We got a special guest, LA's own, very legendary DJ. Much respect. Thank you for coming through, Mr. DJ Vice.
Yeah.
What up?
What's good, man?
Yeah.
Thank
Flew
you,
into
man.
Vegas early, which is rare.
Yeah, we appreciate that shit.
I always take the last flight and just kind of throw my bags down and go straight to the club.
Yeah.
But this is what Vegas looks like during the day.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen Vegas in the day, but that's when you're leaving the Rhino at like 9 a.m. We all understand that one.
This is it's actually one of the rare, like, really nice days in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like not a cloud in the sky.
The weather just kicked in. It's like not too hot, but it's good.
Nah, it's like Cali weather out
It's
here.
LA weather.
Yeah, it's LA weather right now.
Before the heat wave kicks in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Shit, I mean, thanks for coming through, man. We appreciate it.
Yes.
We have a history together. You have a history with Neva, and I don't know about your beginning that much.
Good.
You know,
Good.
so
That way we could talk on it.
Yeah, and it never actually brought up a funny story was when you battled in New York.
Yeah.
With Skribble.
Wow. Yeah, that was actually my first time in New York.
That was your first, and you got treated like shit.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was a dope moment.
Yeah,
Honestly, that was like me getting dragged through the mud in New York for the first time.
yeah. It's like welcome to the East Coast.
Yeah, straight up. It really was.
Yeah.
It was like, and the videos on YouTube, like some of it.
I recently went back to it and saw the video.
Yeah.
And honestly, you got robbed.
Oh, I got robbed.
I love Skribble. That's the homie.
Yeah.
But you got robbed in that competition.
But for okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And for the East Coast, I think what I was doing, it didn't make sense. Like juggling and like flares.
Right.
And like, it was just.
But that was like ahead of the time.
It was very scratch pickle-ish that I was trying to do over there. And like, they're like, what is
But
this
it was
guy
like so
doing?
clean and dope.
Yeah, and it was just a moment that I was like, oh shit, like I didn't even care really about the battle. I cared about it. I put a lot of work into trying to be a battle DJ, which I was not. I just fucking was tripping that I was in New York City. And that I was getting drinks thrown at me while I was battling and people were like,
I didn't see all that.
Okay,
Really.
so
Yeah.
wait. Before we get into it, let's set the scene, right?
Yeah.
What year was this?
This is 1990.
98.
I think,
How old were
98.
you, like, around?
I was 19.
You were
So
19.
I think I was like, 19. And,
Where was this battle at?
It was the
Rose-
Mountain Dew
Yeah.
competition, right? And where was it? Roseland?
The
Mountain-
Roseland
was it
Ballroom.
Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
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 Shit.
And little did I know from what I was told that the deal was already set that Skribble was their like Mountain Dew
Who were the judges?
ambassador.
It was Funkmaster Flets,
Yep, Big Tigger,
Big Tigger, DJ Scratch,
Baker Boys.
Baker Boys.
Yeah.
Damn.
DJ Scratch, yeah.
I want to say it was Red Alert, one of the judges, or he was just there hosting.
Nah, he was just there hanging, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And Amanda from BET or something like that.
Yeah,
some other
that's
girl
right.
host, yeah, girl.
What was Tigger doing there? What the fuck is Tigger doing there?
Yeah, I
he
don't
was
know.
big on Rap City at the time, so
Yeah,
maybe that was.
Big Tigger was big. But it was such a dope moment. Like Flex was the host on stage, so I'm like, I had never even seen Flex in person, and I grew up like, recording all the Friday Night Flavors that they would broadcast in Los Angeles when they would co-broadcast his New York City show, and I was like, oh shit, this is like Flex is saying my name on stage on the mic in New York City, and I'm 19 years old. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy.
Damn.
He was like, anybody recording? I
And
need
then
this.
some Jersey dude threw like a drink straight at me and it like hit me.
So why were they throwing drinks at you?
So the
Like,
battle,
what did you do? What
so
did
the-
you do?
The battle was maybe like 15 or 18 all radio DJs. So first of all, none of us were really battle DJs. We're all radio DJs, and they thought we'll put all you guys on stage to battle each other.
Was it more like a party rocking thing? Or?
Everyone was different. Some dude was playing like 45s, like reggae 45.
that was
mixing.
Tom LaRock.
Tom LaRock
from Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Tom LaRock did it, and it was DJ Nabs from Atlanta, who's radio, and then Skribble was repping Hot 97. Was he Hot 97?
I think so,
he
yeah,
was,
he was.
And I was repping Power 106, the station I was coming from. And everyone was just doing their different thing. And my routine was, I knew I was going to go against Skribble because I did my research. I found out who all the DJs were from every radio station. I checked all their history, and I knew that I was going to go against him. I also envisioned a lot of shit. I didn't even know I was envisioning it back then, but I was already saying, all right, I'm going to be on stage against Skribble. What am I going to do? So I looked up, Skribble had those Traffic Jam records that he put out, I think they were. And his name was in it. And I was like, perfect. I'll diss the shit out of him with his name in the record. And the routine that really got the crowd pissed in a good way, like that his boys were pissed, was the Dre line, like, I once knew a bitch named Mary Wright who used to, so I go, I once knew a bitch named Skribble, knew a bitch named Skribble, knew a bitch named Skribble. And I looked at him and I spun the record back with nothing playing. I just looked at him and I go, lick on these balls and suck the dick. And then the drinks came flying.
Yo, because DJ Skribble was like the New Jersey, like Bridge and Tunnel DJ hero,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like everyone loved him. He did like those MTV dance fever shows.
That spring break stuff. Like he was
Yeah.
real good with
He
all
was
that, right?
crushing it. Like, yo.
And he was also down with Young Black Teenagers.
Yes,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I did that in the routine too.
I didn't see that clip, but-
None of that's out there, so I knew that was going to happen too, and I knew he was part of YBT. So, and it's a Mountain Dew battle. So he did his doubles and was taking his shirt off and like going back and forth,
Right.
and he was drinking a Mountain Dew. And then I did a whole nother diss routine, and I ended it off with tap the bottle and twist the cap, and just looked at him with middle fingers up. So that's when his boys like, we're gonna kill this dude.
Yo,
We can't come from LA and diss the shit out of
That takes
Skribble.
a lot of balls to do that shit, man. Coming from LA.
Damn.
Yo, I'm wearing like.
and he's 19.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Wow.
Skribble's probably like what, like 30, 29?
He could have been at the time. Yeah.
And it was crazy because that was the first time I met Skribble, and we ended up becoming boys. And I knew.
But did he take it personally, or was he laughing when you were doing the shit?
I don't know. I really don't know, but I know that he has the whole video, and he still won't give it to me to this day.
Oh wow!
I've asked him for it. His boy was filming on the side of the stage. I was like, "Let me get a copy." He's like, "Nah, I'm good."
So then you got drinks thrown at you.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, and then we battled, and then the judges couldn't come to a agreement. That's what they said.
Wow.
And they're guys, you have to battle again, you and Skribble. So we went round 2, which didn't make any sense. You're supposed to pick who won. So they made us do it again, and then they go, okay, Skribble won. And then I go, okay, dope. They're like, first place, 10,000 for Skribble, and I think I got second place. Congratulations, you made it to New York. Your room's comped, and here's like $100 for some food.
wow.
Damn.
Yo, even Scratch said something about that.
Yeah, Scratch is like on the
even,
video, it's like,
stick
you're
up for
robbed. You were
man.
robbed. You were robbed. So
Really?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Scratch said that. And then at the end, they brought me on BET on Rap City and sat me down at the Roseland Ballroom, and Big Tigger and Flex is sitting there, and Flex, it was the illest moment for me as a DJ. Flex is like, yo, remember the name, DJ Vikes, 19 years old, in his first DJ battle. Remember the name.
Wow.
And I was like,
Dope, man.
like, done. I made it.
How did you feel though at the end of that? Were you kind of like?
I didn't even feel robbed.
You
Honestly, I didn't give it. I really didn't even feel robbed. I was like, yo, I'm in New
But you
York.
weren't like disheartened like after all of that.
I
shit?
wasn't at
No?
all. And I think it was just more. And it's so. The interview is so terrible what I say. I always cringe because I've watched it a couple of times. They're like, yo, Vice, first time in New York. What do you think? And it's Tigga on one side of me, Flex on the other. And I'm like, man, it's just so beautiful here. Because I was tripping. Like, no DJ in LA that I ever knew at that age. Like, none of us go to New York. No one got hired in New York.
No, yeah.
No.
New York DJs came to LA. We didn't get hired to go to New York. So it was like a mind-blowing moment that I got brought out to New York to DJ. For me, the only time that happened again that I heard someone got booked from LA flying to New York was AM. That was the first time I ever heard that. And I was like, oh, shit.
And actually, one of the first DJs I heard coming from LA was Stone Rock.
Really?
Yeah, I think even before AM,
Wow.
Stone
Yeah.
Rock came to New York.
Yeah, that's like a big deal for an LA-based DJ to get booked in New York City. Even
Yeah.
to me, to this day, like, it was...
It was a big deal for us as DJs to be like, holy shit, they got an LA dude coming here.
Yeah.
Like, we want to hear what he does.
Because
Like,
Kid Capri would always be in LA. Bismarck, he would be in LA all the time. And, like, you'd always hear that. Like, they'd be coming into
Yeah.
LA and playing. Or Skribble or anyone like that. But, like, LA DJs didn't go to New York for a minute. The Baker Boys weren't flying to New York to go DJ. Flex was flying to LA to DJ.
Right.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. So I think I was just really, like, appreciative of the moment to be in New York City. And know that, like, oh, shit, how am I going to do this again to get back here? So it was a dope moment for me.
So you were 19 then.
Yeah.
So how did it start? When did you start DJing? What made you like want to get into it? And then how did you evolve into radio that quickly and then be able to get an opportunity at 19 like that?
Yeah. So I've been DJing with my own turntable since I was 12 years old, but I started buying vinyl at 10 because I saw a DJ playing at 10 years old. I'm 39 right now. I'll be 40 in October.
Shit.
So that puts it in perspective of how long this has been, the journey. So
who was that DJ?
Yo, I just put it together because I have a really bad memory. It's probably from all the nights of us out and drinking tequila, and I bring tequila with me. Right. But it's like a family friend that we don't even know anymore, like of a cousin or something like that. But I pieced it together, and it was a moment. I was 10 years old. At the back of an IHOP in Los Angeles was like a pancake spot that you can rent out to throw like family parties. So I'm back there at 10 years old. Some dude's playing. And I remember this moment that there's some guys up there standing behind, which is now a DJ booth in Coffin. I'm like, what's he doing? And why is everybody enjoying like the dance floor and partying because of him?
Like reacting to him.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm like the little kid, like walking up to the side. I'm watching him, and I'm like, okay, there's turntables, but like, what is he doing? Like, I don't get this. I don't know. I haven't seen a hip hop video. Like, we don't have MTV at home or any of that shit. So I'm like watching it, and I'm like mind blown. I always related to like someone seeing Jordan ball for the first time. They're like, oh fuck, that's dope. I want to be a basketball player. So I'm watching him. I'm like, I want to do that because everybody on the dance floor is having a good time, and it's because of him. Mm-hmm. So about a year and a half passes, and I'm over another family friend's house, and he has turntables and a mixer. And I'm like, oh shit, there it is. That's what I've been searching for. Because my mind was already going crazy. Like, what was that? What was that? So luckily, that family friend, we would go to his house every so often. So he started teaching me how to DJ. And his name was DJ Splice. Not the Splice that we all know. It's a different DJ. You know, there's some, back in the day, everyone had the same name. So he had DJ Splice. And at like, right before I was turning 12, he started teaching me how to DJ. Wow. And at 12, like right around my 12th birthday, he bought me some shitty Technique SL1 belt drive turntables with a little pitch that you have to wheel it. Like belt drives. Mm-hmm. And a pyramid mixer that had sound effect noises, like a fart noise, a laser. This shit's crazy. This shit was so dope. Back then, I was like, yo, I got a laser. So he bought me that shit and was like, you can come to every party I have to DJ because your parents will let you roll with me and you have to pay me back for this $300 setup I bought you, a used $300 setup.
And that was
nice,
then.
man.
Yeah, that was like, that was crazy. Because who does that? Like, even to this day, like, you're not gonna, oh, here, I'm gonna buy you all this shit. Come with, like, yeah. So I had to set up lights, bring this records, connect speakers, learn how to like just be the road man of all that shit.
At 12 years old?
Yeah. Damn. Because my parents would let me roll with him because he was a little bit older than me.
Right.
So they were like, yeah, you can go out. So at 12.
He's basically kind of family. So
like,
they trust
you're good.
us.
So that was 1992 that I actually started DJing. And I've never stopped. And I've never had a fucking job.
You never had a real job?
No.
It's crazy.
I've only DJed my whole life. So this shit better not end.
I think you're doing pretty well. You have a bright future.
So it's been my whole life.
So how'd you get into radio?
So radio came about, I started DJing high school dances, weddings, barbecues, bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, like everything and anything I was DJing them. And listening to the radio because there was no other way to hear mix shows for me, like other than radio. I didn't know how to find anything out. So I would listen to radio, and I grew up listening to KDAY in LA, the Mix Masters. And then I listened to E-Man on the radio and Richard Humpty Vision. And I was like, yo, they get to play for all these people on the radio. Like, I need to get on radio. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out.
When you were, sorry to cut you off. When you were starting out, what was the main thing that you liked about it? Was it the party rocking? Was it like the crowd reaction? What was like, was it the scratching, the technicalities of everything? What was it?
It was the party rocking. It was to see like that I can control the crowd like in a positive way. Like I really did. I was like, I've always been a crowd pleaser, a people pleaser, like the way I DJ. Like I was really into the fact of like, can I keep everybody dancing? And like, that's what I want to do. Like, I'm good. Like that'll keep me moving. So, but then being in LA, you get into the technical aspect of like, I listened to Melody for the first time and I'm like, oh shit. Like he would be cutting shit up and doubles and routines on the radio. And I was like, oh shit. And then the only way I could see any kind of like East Coast DJ, I would see like Jazzy Jeff in the background of a video, or like I would see Jam Master Jay in the background of a video. So I never really got to see them DJing, but they had like the flyness to it and like the swag to it, And I was kind of piecing all this shit from all over the place. I'm glad that we didn't have YouTube. I'm glad we didn't have any way to fucking figure anything out because your imagination ran wild. and you had to just take from everybody pieces, and make it your own style. So so then from there I was like, I need to get on radio because I need more people to hear my shit.
Yeah.
So I met the Baker Boys' older brother, rest in peace, Frank V. And he had a promotion company that passed out cassette tapes and stickers, and it's crazy. I just pulled up yesterday. Someone just sent me, his daughter actually just sent me a picture. It's 1996, and I'm putting snipes up on a fucking pole.
Wow.
So maybe that was my job. Like back then, I would do it to get free records. He had a record pool, and I talked to him. I go, I'll do anything you need me to do on the streets or whatever just to get free records. So that's what opened the door to radio. His brothers was on radio, and I was like, oh shit, I can make mixtapes now and put them on their desks and keep dropping them. So that's what opened the door, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking get on radio. This is my move. So it happened like right when I graduated high school, and I was not going to college. So I was like, when I barely graduated high school, and I'm like, perfect. I was like, I had to take fucking night school. I had to do everything just to get out of high school. Yeah, because I was lost. I was in music already.
What high school did you go to?
Eagle Rock. So I'm born and raised in LA. So Eagle Rock is like little suburb, like 15 minutes outside of Hollywood.
I'm from Silver Lake, so we're like 3 neighborhoods
before
away.
it was hipster.
But
before
the gunshots was fun on York Street.
Exactly. So I just hustled the shit out of radio and dropped mixtapes on desks. I probably made like 50 fucking mixtapes and like different ones. I kept dropping them on, and the Baker Boys would come to me. They'd be like, "Yo, we heard your mixtape. It's cool, but you got to work on this." They would actually give me some feedback.
Cool.
So they had my back, and they helped me out with that. But I used to get to be up at the radio station with their brother in the morning show, and like I saw all the artists roll through, and I was around it, and it was like I could. Oh, the turntables are right there. I could be on the radio, and then it finally fucking happened, like in '97. Like I graduated in '96 of high school, and I was on the radio in '97. So perfect time.
They just said like just a slot open.
Yeah, there was a DJ at the time on the radio that I guess fucked up or something because they were like, "We need you tonight to do a 30-minute mix, and we're gonna try you out." And there was no prep time to that mix. They're like, and there was no rules. Just keep it clean and play radio shit.
So back then, I mean, I don't know how radio is now. I have no idea about radio. That's one of the things I have no idea what's going on. But back then, you could play whatever you want.
Yeah, as long as you were in the lines of keep it radio, keep like
no curse words.
Power had just switched from dance hip hop to just hip hop.
What year was that?
That was 90 end of 96 going into 97.
Okay.
So they had just changed the dance party station.
So during this time, were you playing dance and everything, or were you playing hip hop most? Were you a hip hop head?
I was always a hip hop DJ. Like my first 12 inches, Dougie Fresh the Show, and like Peter Piper. Those were like my first like that I got doubles of, and I was like, oh, okay, this is my shit. But I was also playing house music because in LA, LA was so segregated. The Latin parties would play house music. The Asian parties I would play at, majority of them all play hip hop, and then I would play another type of Latin party that I had to play. It was called K-Rock Flashbacks, and I would be playing Violent Femmes, The Cure, Depeche Mode, and I would be stealing like my sister's records and shit to play those parties. Wow. So I've always been all across the board because I played so much weddings and quinceañeras.
Quinceañeras get you the open format shit.
All that shit. So I've always had a mixed creative records, but on radio when I got on it, I became strictly just like hip hop on the radio. Yeah. And it was a dope moment because I tried out. And they're like, cool, we're going to use you. And I was like, all right. And they're like, can we pay $100 an hour for mixing? And I'm like, oh, shit, that's a lot of money. I was like,
especially out of high school.
Yo.
This is 97 when I think this shit was like $5 for minimum wage back then?
Easily. And they said they're going to pay you $100 an hour with no taxes taken out.
I feel like that rate hasn't changed at all, though.
No,
on radio? Oh, they
probably not.
They get paid. From what I'm told, it's like minimum wage now.
An hour?
By the time I got off radio, we were down to $25 an hour. And that was a long fucking time
ago. What year was
that?
Man.
Shit, I've been off radio since 2004.
Yeah, I know they pay like basically by market, but it's each market's minimum wage.
Right.
So in LA, New York, you're getting more, but here it's the minimum wage for Vegas. You know what I mean? So it's changed.
But it was so dope because I always give props to radio DJs because all of us play in clubs and we're out and we're rocking and you feel the energy and then you get thrown on radio and you're in a boxed little room and there's like, at the time Power had like over 1 million listeners and you're like, go ahead and go DJ with no reaction, no feedback, no vibe. You're in a little cubicle DJing.
Yeah.
But there's more people listening to you than a nightclub.
You got to be super clean.
Clean
as fuck. You can't mess up. Like in a club, you can fuck up a little bit.
Right,
you know?
right. that happened to me a lot too when I was on radio. Like there were so many of the DJ homies that were starting to listen to me, and they'd be like, "Yo, I heard you, it was dope," and I heard that one mix, and you're like, "Oh fuck, I know," because that one push or something on the side, and someone will hear it and they'll call you out, like you'll be on the phone call after. So it really radio trained me to be a clean DJ, how to edit verses out, like first verse, go to the TV track on a 12-inch, and outro on the TV track with the instrumental after that to mix the next song.
That was the radio where you really needed the instrumental,
Dude,
then you would go back to
shit. I remember editing verses on the Baker Boys taught me all that, how to edit a verse like on 112 Only You, how to go from the intro to the first verse to the last verse out, and like all that. I remember so many records
and you would need to play the instrumental because they would need to play the calls or something, right?
Yes,
the
callers and sweeps and drops. Yeah.
What was your time slot on Power when you first started?
I started Monday night local mix 10 to 10:30 p.m. I just had a half an hour slot, so I was only really getting $50 when I started. That's still good though.
Was Power still in Burbank or?
Yeah, Power was still in Burbank, and the dope thing was that radio still mattered so much that artists fucked with the DJs heavy, so they would like invite us to the sessions. Like I was at College Drop. I wanted like a couple of Kanye sessions when he was doing College Dropout.
That's fucking wild.
To like Timbaland sessions, to Pharrell, to Wyclef.
Well, you guys were the distribution.
Yeah,
you guys were distribution. They needed you. If they weren't nice to y'all, then you guys wouldn't play their records.
Right. And we had mixer meetings that everyone used to come through and talk to us. And I remember when like Kanye came in for the first time, and he was explaining how big he was going to be, and he was telling, and it was the craziest shit. He was telling us like, "Yo, I'm going to be the biggest rapper. I produce for Jay. He's cool, but I'm going to be bigger than that." And all of us are exactly holding it in. But I was crazy. Like, I had never been
this
around.
This is 2002, 2003?
Yo, yeah, exactly.
But even then, it came off arrogant as fuck,
Arrogant as fuck, but I was like, I took a step back in my mind. I'm like, how, like, what is he doing right now? Like, what is this? Like, what is he fucking doing, right? And I'm like, he's just envisioning how big he's fucking gonna be. Like, he believes in himself bigger than anybody else.
Well, don't you think it's also a thing where I see a lot of motherfuckers that do it, and sometimes I even do it myself, where if I keep saying it I have to do it. I gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just a talk shit artist.
Yeah.
But as you keep saying it, it becomes more real and real. You know what I mean?
Because it's
psyching yourself out.
Yeah, but it's
right?
also scary to speak. Like I actually, so we're gonna get into all some crazy shit. My wife's a life coach, so she coaches me all the time on shit. So, but I correct people when they, like, the other day I was talking to some dude that I just met, and he's like, "Yeah, man, so I play instruments and this and that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he's like, "Yeah, I work on music," and I was like, "All right, cool. What you working on?" He's like, "Well, I hope one day, man, I don't know, maybe I'll put out an album." I go, "Maybe? How about you tell me right now? I will put out an album."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" I'm like, "Just tell me back what you said and say, yo, one day I will put out an album." Mm-hmm. And he was like scared to say it. Because it is scary to fucking, to say what you're going to do. It's easier to be like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe I'm going to try and play at this festival. I don't know."
People don't want to disappoint themselves, right?
So Kanye is telling us, "I'm going to be the biggest fucking rapper. I'm going to do this." And I saw it and I was like, fuck, maybe he is.
Right.
And a lot of the guys in that mixer mean like, we're like, "Ah, fuck, this guy's first single Through the Wire, like he's out of his fucking mind." Me and at the time Echo and DJ Reflex were the only ones that were like, "Yo, hey, can we come by your studio? Can we check out what you're working on? Can we hear your shit?" Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, come through. So we'd go to sessions and like hear it.
Do you remember any like specific song that you were in there for?
I remember his mom cutting vocals on College Dropout, because what song is that again? His mom was cutting vocals and his mom was in there and we're in there. And
his mom was cutting vocals?
She's on the album. I forgot what song it is. Yeah, because she did some vocals on College Dropout. And
wait, where are you guys?
We're at the recording studio, in L.A.
But she's not on the boards, is she?
No, she's just in the booth.
Oh.
She's in the booth cutting her vocals for the album.
I don't understand cutting. I was like, cutting vocals, that means you're recording?
Nah. So she was in there recording.
No, is that a term? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Cutting vocals?
Yeah, it means like you're recording.
You recording in the booth.
I thought it was like cutting, like she was splicing the reel to reel.
She's on the board.
You know, back in the day,
they were a team. They were a team.
Yeah, I was like, yo, she was in the studio, like mixing shit down.
It was crazy. So we saw it like that. I remember being in there for that. I've seen Timbaland like on an ASR 10 doing fucking beats, and I saw Pharrell in the state.
Wait, that's crazy. So many dope sessions. Crazy. So you walked in the studio and Kanye's mom was in the booth recording vocals?
Yeah, me and Echo walked in there. I think Reflex was with us too. It was at Larrabee North in North Hollywood.
But at that time, you're just like, this is.
He was like,
he wasn't big yet. I mean, he did like production.
I have a question. Did fucking the Blueprint come out at this time?
Blueprint came out 01, and then College Dropout dropped out. I mean, came out 2003 September.
Because he did some phenomenal ass shit on
his production.
On Blueprint, right?
Blueprint, he had like
he did Heart of the City,
Takeover,
H to the Izzo,
and he's on the verse at the end, right?
So but did you kind of be like, yo, this dude's a mastermind producer, or you just kind of like, it's just like an up and coming dude?
Yeah, I was more on the up and coming. I liked this shit, but I was like, hip hop is so big.
Could have been Chingy, right?
Yeah. It could have been Jay Could have been.
Were you while you were in the studio? Were you just like somewhere in the corner, or were you like, yo, you should do this?
No, I was soaking in. I was soaking in everything, and that session at so many like different sessions, I would just soak in like what equipment are they using, how are they recording. That's the first time I saw Pro Tools, and I was like, I need to get Pro Tools, and I need to get a Mac. Where do you get a Mac at? There's no Apple store at the fucking time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had to go to like Fry's Electronics and be like, I'm gonna buy an Apple. And everyone's using an MPC 2000. I should buy that. So I went and got an MPC 2000. I got to keep saving and shit. But I was basically copying everything everyone was doing. My boy Echo got an ASR 10 because Timbaland was using that. And then we were just like trying to emulate what everyone was doing and learn shit. But just to be in those sessions and like take that energy from artists that like are like Kanye, who's on the fucking top, like on the top of the world before he's even on the top of the world in his mind. This shit was crazy.
So like at that time, I know like I started out as a producer. Like I started making beats first. Yeah. So like I know DJs, it's hard for them to kind of concentrate on making beats.
Hell yeah,
because you're so busy just being a DJ.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like gig to gig to gig to gig.
Right,
and then you really need like a good 12 hours or even 48 hours or 50 hours straight just to really make music. So when you were buying all this equipment, none of that production really stuck, or it kind of stuck, or like it was like off and on whenever you had time and shit like that.
I wasn't traveling, so I was only a radio DJ.
Right.
So I was only playing LA gigs, like that's it. So I was working like from 2001 when I got an MPC. I would just work on beats all night and then go to bed like at 6, 7 in the morning.
How was it?
And then,
how was your beats?
So they were so bad. I went through all my hard drives because I just moved, and I went through all my old hard drives and zip disks and shit. And I condensed everything.
Yeah, man.
I'll date myself all day on this shit. I don't give a shit. Zip disks and all that, and I was downsizing everything, and I found some of my old beats, and I'm like, whoa, these are fucking terrible. They're so
was
good.
Was it sample heavy or was
it? So all sample heavy, all sample heavy. So it was dope just to hear that, and then like to listen to some old Pro Tools sessions and shit like that. But I really like all those sessions of being in there with artists was like that shit won't happen anymore. Like that era for us.
Those days are over with.
Yeah, they're over with.
I don't think it's I don't think the DJs are gonna be in there, but I think like the bloggers or the Instagram guys, like that academics dude is like he's getting listening shit now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because now he's kind of like a new form of distribution, right?
Yeah,
except it's like
that.
Because the internet
promoting marketing.
It's the new radio in a way, the new Club mixtape.
Well, I always talk to like radio dudes on the West Coast or like Midwest, and I think it's funny. Well, even in New York, it was kind of a thing too. Like the nightclub scene in every city does not, at the time in the 90s and early 2000s, they did not want radio DJs to DJ their nightclubs.
Hell no.
Right. No. So I would meet a lot of like radio dudes, and the kind of parties they did were very like large, big room, but they weren't like that exclusive celebrity crowd or like that cool ass nightclub.
Actually, the only DJ that was doing it was Funkmaster Flex.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Was he doing like spa and shit?
He was doing spa. He was doing parties in the Hamptons for Jason and Noah back in the days.
But was he a club DJ and then a radio DJ, or was he a radio DJ then a club DJ?
He was a club DJ. Then he got into radio.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So,
but I'm like, I think New York's a little different, like slightly different. But I noticed that, like, I remember the first time I met Fashion, he's like, "Oh yeah, I had to quit radio in order to do nightclubs," and I never really understood it, but I kind of understood it because like when I would meet a radio DJ and they're like, oh yeah, you wouldn't really hear them in clubs.
No.
And then when you did hear them in clubs, you're like, wow, this dude doesn't know how to do clubs.
You know what I'm saying? It's so typical because when I first started getting into like clubs off radio, I'd be like, I'll play the instrumental rock, then I'll drop in. You're like, that's some radio shit. Yeah, and I had to like train myself and learn clubs heavier. But the same thing, I had to quit radio because of that, 100%.
And I think it's funny now because now it's like if you are a radio DJ, it's like, oh, he has a following.
Yeah. Yeah,
we can use him now. When back in the day, like literally like 15, 20 years ago, they did not want to fuck with radio DJs at all.
No, I was told we don't want. It was AM set me up with a gig, and they told him after like we don't want him back, and he's like why? And he's like he plays on the radio. We don't want that crowd to come here.
Exactly. So that was the stigma, right? That was the stigma is that. You're on the radio and a bunch of like regular people listen to you, and if we put you on a flyer, all these regular people are gonna come to the club, and we don't want those motherfuckers.
The civilians.
Yeah, we don't want those civilians. You know what I mean?
We don't need civilians in here.
But I mean, like I remember I don't know for some reason why we would if a radio DJ was booked at a club, we'd be like,
yeah,
you know, like
But you know it was gonna be hood though. It was like a hip hop.
It was gonna be kind of. It was kind of be like. I always thought and I always listened. It was like, oh wow, he's DJing like it's a mixtape. You know what I mean?
It's
you know
true
what I'm saying?
because I was that dude too. I had to learn.
Yeah.
It's a whole at the time. Radio was a whole different world. And I remember sometimes I'd fucking play a clean version by accident. I'm like, why am I playing a clean version in the club?
Yeah. I remember
it bothers me to this day. I did that not too long ago. I played a clean version by accident or something. I'm like, what the fuck is? It was like, oh, hurry up, get out.
We would tear some of these like mixtape radio DJs and like when he would come to nightclub, we'd be like, yo man, it'd be like me and like the homies. We just like, yo man, this motherfucker just played the radio edit. Like motherfuckers, come on, we all grown ups here, 21 and over. You know what I mean? But I want to know at what point did you feel radio wasn't like satisfactory anymore, and you're like, wow, I need to get into there because Neville was telling me a story, right? You said something about him and a girlfriend at the time, like you went to a party and you heard AM or you saw AM for the first time. You're like, shit, I want to do these parties.
Yeah, I was. So going back to the Baker Boys brother that ran that promotion company that I was working with, we had a DJ battle. It was a record pool, so I used to get all my records early for free, all that shit. And and we hosted a DJ battle at the record pool. And Graham Funk was one of the DJs in the pool, and AM was one of the DJs in the pool. And I didn't really know him because I just started working with the pool, but they had a battle, and I was one of the judges.
This is Big AM, right?
This is Big Boy AM, yeah, on a Vestex, I think a 05 and 212s, yeah. And he was one of the guest DJs in the battle, and I was judging it. Mr. Chalk was hosting it. I actually found those videos on YouTube too.
So is this before AM blew up, or what?
Yeah, this is way before. It was way before that. Because
you were judging the competition.
I was judging it in a garage in Glendale, California, of a fucking DJ battle. There's YouTube videos that came up. It's crazy. I found it, and so I'm judging it, and DJ AM's playing cut. I didn't get to see him DJ. He was just scratching and doing all that shit. And then I started dating some girl that was way out of my fucking league.
What do you mean way out of your league?
Way out of my. She wore snake. She had snake boots, bro. I didn't even know they made boots.
Wait, you're Mexican. You have that before.
No, but she had like she was like model snake boots. She was in a fucking commercial.
Was she like a sugar mama? Was she was she like 40 years old?
No, not at all. She was in like commercials and shit. I was like, this is way out of my league. But I met her at a ratchet club though. So she was like, we're gonna go to this club in LA called Garden of Eden. And I was like, all right, I've never heard of that.
Sounds like a strip club.
Where was that at?
It's on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and is that like La Brea? I think it's La Brea on Hollywood Boulevard. Like it's still there. I think
the building still stands.
It still stands. It's been a bunch of different clubs. So I walk in and she takes me there and they bring us in and we had to be on. That was that cool crowd. So I'm like, what the fuck? There's no line. I thought there was like a line, like everyone got in a single file line, like most radio clubs and shit. But everyone's just crowding the door, and I'd never been around anything like that. And we walk in, she gets us in, and I'm like,
she knew people at the door.
She knew people at the door, yeah. She was getting, she got us in. I don't know. So she got us in, and we walk in, and I'm like, first I don't even know where the fuck I am, even though I'm right near like where I grew up. But everyone in there is like diverse crowd, but the music right away, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like a very crazy wedding set, but it's still kind of cool.
What was he playing? What was some of the music?
It was the Joan Jetts and the fucking Journeys. It's all the basics.
And what year was this?
This is 2003, I think.
Yeah.
And like fucking Chicago and all these records are playing, but then Jay-Z plays and Tribe, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and how are all these people dancing to this? It was mind-blowing because I've DJ'd so long in LA, but I've never seen that, like that side of LA. So I literally like looked, I was like, where is this DJ booth? And I made my way and I looked around, I was like, oh shit, that's the dude from the DJ battle. That's the AM guy. That's all I knew. I was like, that's the guy. I know that guy.
And it was still big AM.
He's still big boy AM. And we have the dopest thing is we took a picture that night. Like, so I have that picture of us in the DJ booth. And I'm wearing, that's big boy AM and Vice with glasses.
Yeah,
I used to have glasses.
I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
Damn, and I'm big boy too. I was like 210. I was
Really?
like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's another, it's a lot of, it's crazy. That story, I knew my biggest weight with AM. So it's all crazy. So I walk in the DJ booth. I'm like, Vice from the battle, and he's like, yo, come in. And he's like, I come in the DJ booth, and he's like, yo, jump on, man, jump on. And he gives me the headphones, and he's like, I listen to you on Power. And I was like, oh, dope, okay, cool. And I remember, all the as bad as my memory is, I remember like these moments. I go in his crate, I pull it out, and I pulled out Vibrant Thing. And it had just come out. Right. I was like, oh, dope. So I dropped it. I did like doubles, my radio doubles, all this shit. And then I was like, no, man, go ahead. Because I was like, I don't know what the fuck to play in here.
Right.
Like, he's about to play Sweet Home Alabama next. He does. And you're like, I remember him playing that shit that night. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, this is corny, but why is it working? Like, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. So, anyhow, we exchanged numbers.
Was he already doing like Sweet Home Alabama and like hip hop beats over him?
He wasn't doing it then, not at that one. I think he was just dropping the record then.
The OG, right?
Yeah, he wasn't getting like crazy with the mashup blends.
But I don't think AM really got that crazy like that till Serato really came out, where he could just switch over. Yeah,
end of vinyl, like early Serato.
Right.
Mm. So that girl was kicked to the curb, and I just kicked it in the booth with AM. Like, I was like, I gotta watch this. I gotta understand what this is. And he was like, yo, let's exchange numbers. Let's keep in touch. Let's hang out, right? And I was like, all right, cool. So then when I went to his house for the first time, he's like, yo, check this out. And he did the Vibrant Thing routine. Like the exact same doubles I did. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, it was just a basic routine, but he did it back. He's like, yo, I learned that, son. And I was like, and I was like,
did you call him out? You'd be like, yo, that's my shit.
No, I was just like, I hadn't been around people that were like that into it. Like, he was fucking into it.
He studied it.
He studied it.
And he remembered it, right?
He was a nerd about it. Like, I barely did it once, and then he was like, yo, I got it. Like, yo, so that's when I was like, yo, this dude is on some next level shit, and he's in a different world, and I want to know about this. So that's when I just started like going to all those Hollywood clubs and like asked, like, I didn't even really ask to open, but he was like, yo, you want to open for this gig? I'm like, all right, cool, I'm in. Like, I wasn't even asking for money. And I was on radio already. And just going back to your question was, when I started opening for him, that was when I started getting all the flack from the promoters, because he would tell me, he'd be like, yo, they don't want to fuck with you. You're on the radio.
Damn.
They don't want, and he had my back, and he would be like, yo, like, just come in next week. I'm not gonna tell him you're opening, but I had to bring turntables and mixer at the setups too. So and I'm on the radio already. So I'm already feeling myself like, yo, I'm on the fucking radio. Are you kidding me? Like, but I was like, yo, like, this is not my lane. Like, just
is it kind of racial?
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, I played for Power 106, and it's a Latin radio station.
Right.
Like we have a Latin demographic. You know what I mean? So like, they weren't trying to have that.
It's like a subtle way of like, we don't want a Latin DJ with a Latin.
Like, he might play like Kid Frosta Raza, then into Lighter Shade of Brown, and then to fucking I'm Not Your Puppet or something. Like, that's not Sweet Home Alabama.
Or Computer Love comes on.
I thought this was fucking cool. No.
But also you might bring like gangbangers or like some weird like street motherfuckers.
And that's when like gangbanging was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was still bad. But you know what happened a lot too? Like, I would play, and then AM would go on after me, and he'd play some shit. And then when I would cover for him, I would play that shit, and the promoter would look at me and be like, "What are you playing?" And I'd be like, AM played this last week. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And she'd be like, no, cut that shit off. And I'm like, fuck.
Right.
Like, how come? And that happened for a long time. I think like certain DJs could get away with records that another DJ couldn't get away with.
Well, I forgot who I was talking to. I think me and Sean and like 11 would talk about certain things. Like if you see like a female DJ play a bunch of hardcore hip hop, it's kind of like dope.
It's dope, yeah.
But if you see like a black dude playing hardcore hip hop, you're just like, like typical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I used to go through the same thing in New York. Like I would go check out Mark Ronson. He would play like the hardest hip hop records. And if I DJ at this club like a couple of days later, and I play the same records, they'll come up to me and was like, "Yo, you can't be playing this right now."
Yo, that's
like black guy playing hip hop and shit.
But when the white guy playing hip hop is cool,
bro. Yeah. I remember, like Lean Like a Cholo. If I play that shit, you're like, "Yo, get him off."
Right.
But if someone else is a typical Mexican DJ, let's get him off.
It's really true. Like that stigma. Like when you see,
unfortunately, yeah.
When you
right. I was gonna say the funny thing is that Vice is Mexican, but he doesn't speak Spanish, which is the
at
funniest
all, bro.
shit.
A lot of people don't even think I'm Mexican, so I get every I've gotten like Persian, I've gotten Jewish, I've gotten Armenian, they thought I was Filipino recently. I was like, what?
Filipino?
Yeah, I've gotten, I don't know why. Maybe because all my boys are Filipinos.
Did that fuck with you a little bit, like growing up, like not speaking Spanish?
No, because all I wanted to DJ was in the Asian clubs. That's all I liked. Asian girls.
The crazy shit that he grew up in Eagle Rock, and Eagle Rock is a mixture of a lot of Mexicans, but it's a lot of cholos, and it's a mixture of two of the biggest gangs, which is Avenues.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he doesn't know Spanish that well.
No, I'm first generation, but my parents didn't want me to be like Mexican and shit. They wanted me to be like, you hear how you speak?
They want you to be American.
They want to be, because they both had to learn English.
But Eagle Rock's also a lot of white people too.
Now it is.
Now it is.
It's really like there's a Jollibee there. You know, there's a lot of Filipinos. So if there's a Jollibee in the city, the Filipinos are popping right there. So I DJ'd growing up all like the Asian parties because that's where like most of them were into hip hop and breakdancing and shit like that. So I'm like, I want to play at that. I didn't really play like the Latin parties that much. Only like if it was like a radio station gig that hired me. But I grew up with like Icy Ice and Mellow and around those clubs.
I was just talking about Icy Ice.
Yeah, I've never heard of.
He's a legend in LA. Ice is a legend.
So that was probably like I grew up on like 99 to like 04 on the radio, but I never heard him.
So this one of my homies, Wally Wall from Wally from LA. He does like streetwear. He's like a real cool guy. He like DM'd me. We were doing this podcast, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta get Icy Ice." And I was like, "I don't know LA radio, like Cali DJ." So I was like, "I don't know who the fuck that is." and in a group chat, I hit these two up. I hit D up, and I hit Jamie up, and I was like, "Yo, who the fuck is Icy Ice?" And they're like, "Man, we never heard that motherfucker ever."
Yeah,
man.
I was like, I don't know who that is.
Like I knew like you. Kubichi, E-Man,
Mr. Chalk.
Was that your time?
Yeah, E-Man played all the Icy Ice parties. They had a crew called Legend, and they were like the biggest fucking thing. And I was like just becoming old enough to go to those parties, so I was like trying to get in.
So Icy Ice, was he on the radio? What was?
No, he wasn't on radio. He just threw the biggest parties and he would DJ it.
But it was all Asian or was it mixed?
Nah, it was all mostly Filipino. Yeah, it was like mostly Asian parties. Yeah. And I would fucking want to be in those parties so bad. So I sat, and we eventually became friends. But but those parties were huge in LA.
He's like OG then.
Yeah, he's OG. And he's Beat Junkies. He's Beat Junkies. So he's
really?
original Beat Junkies as well.
Was it like house parties or was it like?
Not like big clubs, like all the old Variety Arts Center in downtown LA and like the Exchange, like just big nightclubs in LA that were like popping. There were so many different scenes in LA. Like LA was so segregated. I'm sure New York is the same.
We were
segregated.
I was going to ask you, like, because we were speaking on race earlier.
Yeah.
When you went to the Hollywood parties, I mean, it was predominantly probably white, right?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I always think LA's pretty segregated.
For sure.
And New York is actually a bit segregated, but it's a little more mixed, right?
A lot more mixed.
But
mixed. It is segregated, but it's definitely mixed.
I mean, everything's segregated kind of, but like New York's a little more mixed and shit.
Right.
But that's what I was wondering, like when you were coming up with radio and all this. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of like racist ass shit, like subtle racist shit going on, like maybe more stereotypical, like, you know what I mean?
I think I flew under the radar because I didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah,
they didn't hear my accent. They didn't hear because I have no accent. I mean, they didn't hear anything come out of me. But like, I think they're in LA. It was very segregated. There was a black scene, there was an Asian scene, there was a white scene, and if you're going to DJ, they're like, where are you gonna go play? Oh, I'm playing an Asian party. Oh, I'm playing a black party. Oh, I'm playing a white party. You know what I mean? Even to the point where I used to play like a dance hall club. I used to play at a dance hall club, and I wouldn't even play dance. I'd play the hip hop set, and that was like the black party. They're like, oh, you play at the black party? Like, yeah, it was super segregated, and it didn't even it seemed like the norm to me.
And then you don't know what kind of party is because of the section of the city you're at.
Yeah,
exactly. You're in East LA, it's a Mexican party.
Did you link up with Echo at Power?
No. I linked up with Echo at like when I was DJing some party and like way out in the South Bay, and I just went to a party, and I sent him the fucking business card. It's crazy. He gave me his business card. And I was like, oh, this dude's really into DJing. Like I attracted like the energy of people that were really into the craft. Like, I really want to be a DJ. So Echo was one of those dudes, and I was like, yo, give me your card. And I wrote on the back of it, Mexican DJ. And he's not even Mexican, he's like Colombian and Peruvian. And he gave me his number, and he put his number down. He's like, yo, hit me up. And then months go by, whatever, and then I run into him, and he told me the story because I don't remember this, but he's like, yo, I run into you, and you're like, and I'm like, yo, man, what's up? You never hit me up. And I told him, I go, oh, I don't have long distance, because back in the day,
you gotta put one.
My parents didn't pay for long distance. You had to pay the phone company extra. I sound old as shit.
Yeah, man.
You had to pay, like in LA, you had to pay extra for your phone to be able to call long distance. And my parents were like, we're not paying more money to
what
call
area
long
code was
he? He was 310 South Bay. And I was like, I couldn't call you, bro. That's how long ago. It was like 90. Probably like 90. It was before radio, so like 95.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Like I was still in high school. Yeah. And he had a car and I didn't, so I was like, yo, you have a car that works? You're gonna roll with me to gigs. Let's go.
That's crazy.
So then so you linked up with AM, you were opening for him.
Yeah.
He kind of put you under, like he kind of put you under his wing, kind of, right?
And I've always said, I don't know why, how it happened. He just we just got along, and I wasn't after anything. Like, I just wanted to be around DJing, and he knew how much I was into it, and I was reliable, and I'd open up, and he really wouldn't take money from me for the gigs. Just once in a while, he'd be like, yo, how much they pay you for that gig? I'm like, 300. He's like, give me 100. And I was like, oh, here you go. It's all good. I don't care. I didn't even care about like the money at those gigs. I was opening up a whole new world to like DJing, and like there was fucking celebrities at this party. Like I remember one of the gigs, he was like, yo, I need you to DJ this party with me. I need you to play at Kenny G's birthday party with me. And I'm like, fucking Kenny G's birthday, bro? We're going to DJ at Kenny G's birthday party? He's like, yeah, but I got to leave like halfway through the gig to go get my chips at another party. So I'm going to put the AM chain on you, and I'm going to go to this other party. And just when they ask where I'm at, just keep looking like, oh. And they see an AM chain, that like, we're good.
The AM dog tag?
Yeah, the AM dog tag.
Wow.
And did that work?
Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger's on the dance floor, and I'm DJing, and AM bounces, and the production designer, whatever coordinator comes up, it's like, where's Adam? And I'm like, I think he went to the bathroom. I fucking freaked out. I'm wearing an AM chain, right? And she comes back 5 minutes later. He's not in the bathroom. I'm like, I don't know. He's here somewhere. She runs around 10 more minutes by. He fucking left. He left, huh? He left. I'm like, I don't know. I got this. Don't worry. I got it. And I had to like cover for him on some fucking gigs like that. His shit was, yeah. But he was just about like getting the chips, and he knew like I would hold it down. I mean, everyone was happy. They danced. So Kenny G was good.
How do you think he got so tapped into that?
I think with his style and what he was playing, like no one else in LA was fucking it was just buzz. So I had never heard anyone else.
So when he was at a club, it would just buzz, and everyone would talk like, "Yo, you got to go back and hear this dude."
Yeah, and there was no social media, so it was his skills speaking for him, and the sets he was playing
and the selection
resonated. Yeah. Whereas I could go to an East LA party and play fucking like Morrissey and shit like that, and it'll resonate to them. Like he just knew how to play that audience. So I would just like soak that shit up and be like, all right, I can figure that out.
So was there like an incident that happened, or what was the thing that said, I got to quit radio?
Yeah, it was that the main club, Las Palmas, on Wednesdays, it was like the hottest shit. And I covered for him, and I did the full night. And then AM went back to the promoter. It was Bolt House Productions, and they were like, we're good. Like, we don't want a radio DJ playing our shit. So Adam told me that, and literally the next day I was like, I didn't quit. I just stopped doing my radio shifts. Like, I just was like, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I can't do that one. Oh, I can't do that one. And
basically, you got taken off the schedule.
Which is crazy, though, because that, like, radio is like a goal for us. That was my goal, to be on radio. So it was a big moment to be like, yo, this is a chance. You have to step back, and you're not going to make that radio money anymore. And, like, it's time to try and do something else. So that was a big chance for me, that not realizing, like, fuck, like, shit could have went sideways, and I could have not got those gigs, and I'm not on radio anymore, and I'm sitting here on the sideline like, fuck. But I mean, I just took it and went for it. So getting that gig, I remember to the point I would cover, and then they started letting me play a little bit. And the nights I wasn't DJing, I'd go back. And one night I got cocky. I was like, I don't have to go early with Adam. Like, I don't have to go early. Like, AM's playing, they have another opener. I'll show up like at 11, right? I walk up to the door by myself, and they're like, sorry. I'm like, it's Vice. I DJ'd like last week, 2 weeks ago. And they're like, just can't do it right now.
And you had all your crates there?
Damn.
No, I went by myself just to go hang, to go
just
check
to
out the
hang.
set.
They wouldn't let
to
you
go hear
in.
AM's set. I didn't fucking get in.
I'm
like, this is already, I've been DJing on radio and doing that shit, and they're like, nah, you're good.
That used to happen to me in New York.
That happened to me in New York also.
Yeah.
And I had DJed the fucking club, and they're like, nah.
They did that to me a couple of times. The door guy was just like
being an ass.
Yeah.
But I looked at it like, okay, like, it's another challenge. Like, how do you fucking break this scene?
That kind of
like,
happened to me not long ago. Some guy, I went back. I was like, yo, so and so's boy. I DJ here last week. And he's like, nah, man, you gotta pay the cover. I was like, really? I just saw you. You just let me in, and then he's like, nah. I was like, all right, and then
when did this happen?
Reality checks.
I don't want to say when, but
when did it happen? Like last week?
Recently?
Yeah, recently. When you say recently.
So you didn't pay?
Oh no, they got me in, but I was just like, bro, like quit acting, like, come on.
It's like,
it's humbling though.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's humbling to like that shit to happen still.
Well, like I remember the door. So I remember I was DJing at this spot called PM in New York, and it was like it was really high. Like it was really high end. I did like maybe like 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, I felt like I was a resident.
Yeah.
And I walked in with like 2 of my homies, and the door guy, Radimus or something. I forgot his Aramis.
Aramis, yeah.
Aramis.
OG door. Everyone has their OG door dude in their city.
Yeah, definitely.
Aramis. Yo, Aramis looked at me and he just ignored me. And I said, and then finally I was like, look, I was like, yo, man, I've been DJing here for the past couple of weeks, like, past few weeks, man. And he's like, I know. And he's like, I know. And he says, I can't let you in right now. And he says, I can't do it. And I remember he told me something like, you don't get it.
Oh, shit.
Was Aramis the pirate?
No.
The pirate?
This game, you got to get him on the podcast. You got to get the pirate on the
Aramis
podcast.
is he was like the Haitian dude, super tall, maybe like 6'5".
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
He always had like I don't know how to explain, like the Tron shades.
The Tron shades?
His shades were like crazy. Like they would cover like almost his whole face.
I know exactly. Okay.
Yeah. But and then finally, like after like a few months, like maybe, and it would be one of those things where I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know if I should go, and then I would go, and then he would let me in.
Yeah.
And it was when I was alone. If I ended up showing up with dudes, he'd be like, nah.
That's
so
how
then I
roll.
started understanding it, and then as I started getting it, I would walk up in like fucking slippers and like shorts, and he would just let me in. But that was like a beautiful time when you've earned the respect of door dudes. You know what I'm saying? They just like, you could look like a total bum, and then you have like these Wall Street dudes in suits trying to get in.
Yep.
And then they're like, yo, you just let this bum in? Who the fuck is that dude? Like, who the fuck is that Asian bum that you just left in? He looked like he just rolled out of bed. And I'm like, yeah, I just rolled out of bed, and I thought
I have a good doorman story. Is our dude in LA that ran the door for years was Jackson James. And Jackson James ran Las Palmas and all like the Bolt House parties, the big parties. And I met him when I first started playing all those clubs, those Hollywood clubs. And he would run it all the time. And he eventually opened Body English here. He ran the door here in Las Vegas. So he was always out and about. And the day I was playing Excess way back, and it was a convention party. I think it was during Magic. And Jackson wasn't doing doors really anymore, and then he rolled up, and I was on the side DJing, and he looked at me, and I was at the DJ booth, and the security guard looked at me, and he's like, nope. And he told me like he wasn't going to let Jackson come up to the DJ booth with me. And I'm like, a few tequila shots in. So I looked at the doorman. I'm like, the security dude, I'm like, yo, let him in. Please, just let him in. Just him. One. I kept looking at him like, one. I'm like mouthing it, one. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, all right, let him in, bro. Let him in. And I don't usually get aggressive. I'm not an aggressive dude, but that dude's the door dude that always let me in. Like, he took care of me. Like, he would, and he'd open the ropes for me. So the security guard just looked at me like with that smirk, like, nah. And I go, cool. Shut the music off. And I just looked at the door dude, and I was like, at the ropes, and I go, whenever you're ready to let him in. And we just like had the stare down with the eye, and he was just like, click, let him in. Like, and Jackson looked at me like, oh shit. And they came over like, yo, what the fuck's happening? The music was off for like 30 seconds. I'm like, they wouldn't let him in. Sorry.
Damn, that's crazy, yo.
I remember that shit.
Fucking crazy.
I did shit like that. Like, I only get pissed when like it's called for. Like, there was a girl in the middle of the dance floor back in the day in a Hollywood club, I remember, and she was looking at me and like middle finger was up, saying like, cut this song off. This shit's like bullshit. And I was like playing an open format old school shit like Stevie Wonder and shit. And I was like, fuck this bitch. Shut the music off. And I'm like, girl in the white dress in the middle of the dance floor that has no respect for Stevie Wonder, get her the fuck out the club.
Wow.
Did they throw her out?
Damn.
She ran, bro. She ran. She came back around the side of the DJ booth, and I didn't see. I was like DJing. She came back to the side. She's like, "What the fuck?" I turned around. I turned the music off again. She's back. She's back.
Yo, you think you could do that shit now?
I don't think so. Fuck.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know, even the shit that he mentioned of like AM, like you coming to visit AM and him giving you the headphones to get on.
Yeah.
I remember back in the days,
You
like
could jump on, right?
Yeah, you could do that.
when did that stop?
I'd say recently.
Like I would go like if we went to, remember it would be like me, you, Raftakan going to Body English.
Yes.
And you like if Raftakan had never been in Vegas, you'd be like, yo, get on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd let the motherfucker rock, and then maybe even after 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even DJ. You like 5 would be there spending 20 minutes. I do 20 minutes.
Right.
And then
Everyone
we
would
just
be on.
rotating. And then when did that stop?
Man, when it became a show for every DJ, like when the whole branded night, because when I first started in Vegas, I had to fight for my name to be on the flyer for Body English. I remember like I wasn't really
Was it
the flyer.
You think it was when it was a branded night? I don't think that was it.
When was it then? Like when
I think when it went to EDM.
and it became like the EDM show, right? Like
Yeah.
the EDM
2010,
Yeah,
2011.
around there. Like,
But why? I'm really curious. I want to know why that stopped.
before before the promoters and like the managers trusted our opinion, who would jump on, right? It would be like,
Right.
okay, you're all good. Like whoever, it's good music's good, we're good. Now it's like it needs to be you because they're here for your name. Like that kind of shit. That's what I feel like. But I still throw 5 on, and if you jump on, it's all good. But if you play for a different club, you can't really be on.
I think that might be part of it, but I think there's something else to it. I don't know what it is yet.
Don't you think it's the clicks of like, oh, you play for that club and you don't play for this club over here. So
Maybe like the
You
That's
non-competes.
another reason,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I
non-competes.
can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
non-competes
yeah.
are very.
And also, I think it might be like maybe like the newer generation of DJs.
yeah,
Like if you know, like back in the day, if you made it to a point where like I knew your name, I knew you worked your ass off to do it somehow.
yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
Whereas now you if you befriend a DJ, you're not sure where they're from or what dues they paid or where they came from. So like you wouldn't even have them get on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you would trust like a dude like yo, this dude's from New York. That motherfucker, like I trust this motherfucker's
Yeah,
here in Vegas. Yo, get on.
Yeah.
And then you want to see him like he's gonna bust his shit off. You know what I mean?
Right.
yeah.
And I think that also I think it's a bunch of things, but I think that also I miss those days though of just
All the
Like,
homies
just
jumping
rocking
on,
out.
just
and
jumping
rocking.
on and just
Having fun.
having it being like almost like a rap pack where it was just like wow, there's like Sammy Davis Jr.,
and
there's
Frank
Frank
Sinatra.
Sinatra,
Yeah.
and it's like they're just going off. They're just fucking around, yo.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the first time I saw you at Tao, I think we met at Body English, but I saw you at Tao, and you were letting people jump, and I'm like, oh, that's who he fucks with. By seeing that, like I was like, he fucks with Scratchy, he fucks with Five. You know what I mean?
Deluxe
Like
came in,
you could tell who they homies are,
Right.
By that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
So-
back in the day, the term like "yo, he's the homie" used to be a bad thing.
Really?
In the beginning, it was like, yo, he's the homie, and it was just kind of like that dude's an outsider, kind of.
Got you.
Because it was like a way of like not dissing him, like, yo, this is Carl, he's the homie. You're like, oh, okay.
Maybe that's some East Coast shit.
We don't fuck with Carl. Oh, we don't fuck with Carl.
That's the homie.
Fucking Carl.
Was Body English your first residency?
Yeah, My first gig in Vegas ever was Babies. Before that. And what's crazy about that is they actually booked me because of radio back then. It was like 2003, so it was right when I was getting off the radio, and they booked me because they had Mr. Chalk DJing out here.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and I got that, and then I played at Light at the Bellagio.
The first time I met you?
Yeah, and you were there as well. That was like, these are vinyl days.
How was the set, Never?
Wait.
I got two questions. I
remember this night, but go ahead.
I got two questions.
To be honest, I really don't. Honestly, the more honest you are, I don't give a shit. It's all.
I'm be honest with you.
Yeah, you better shit on him if he was bad.
I got shit on the other day, so I'm good.
Really?
I'm gonna talk about that next.
Okay. So wait, there's two questions because the setup at Light, a lot of DJs were frustrated with it. It was
spaced, wasn't it? Like
it was the two decks. What do you call it? The double decker rain with the knobs.
Yes.
Right? I think we had the crossfader by the time you came.
Yeah, I think there was a fader.
Yeah,
I've only had to play once with no fader.
Okay,
like on the rain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then so how did he do with the rain mixer, the dual deck rain mixer? And then how was the set? It was vinyl. It was vinyl at the time, right?
So it was a Thursday party called Bounce Thursday.
That was the hip hop party.
The hip hop. We spoke about it with Shucky before. That was his party.
Yeah,
and he was the guest DJ. So it's like, oh yeah, this guy Vice is from LA. He's on radio.
You ever heard of him?
Never heard of him before. So I'm like, Vice, all right, cool, whatever. So he came in, whatever.
Yeah, I want this.
No. It was dope. All right, actually, you're the first DJ in Vegas I heard to get on the microphone to get the crowd hyped.
Oh shit! Okay.
Nobody was doing this back then. This is like 2003.
Yeah.
Forbidden. Yeah.
So he was killing. He was rocking it, and I was like, damn, this dude is good. And then towards the end of your set, you was playing like old school R&B, like 80s R&B, and I was like, wow. I was like, damn, I ain't think LA DJs know about this shit. So he did good. And then afterwards, I was like, yo, man, you want to go to Dre's after I was to hang out?
Oh shit, we did go to Dre's.
And he was like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, yeah. So we hung out that night.
I don't even think I really drank then.
Nah,
I don't think so. I drank. I really didn't drink.
I might have forced you to do a couple shots.
I probably took a couple shots. But
talking about shots.
Yeah, we do have a tequila bottle right here that's about to get cracked. As we, you got it? Hold on. Well, let me talk about getting shitted on. Then I'll drink the pain away. So I was my boy got married like 3 weeks ago. Arrow from Nike. You guys know Arrow?
Yeah.
So Arrow got married and put his business out there. But anyways, I'm playing at this wedding and Ross One's DJing. So Ross One's, it's only like 60 people. Like there's this really small wedding and Ross is DJing and I'm like, I'll jump on because I know a lot of the people there. I've known Arrow since I was in high school. So I was like, yo, Ross, I'll get on. I'm playing. And this is more than 3 weeks ago. I mean, I met like a month ago, whatever. And this girl walks up and she's like, play plug walk. Like that. I'm like, what? Play plug walk. She's drunk, right? And I'm looking around like, I don't know who this girl is. She's like 20 years old or something like that, and I don't know what plug walk is at the time.
Right.
And it probably just come out. Now I know it's a Rich the Kid song, but I'm like, play what? And she's just like, plug walk. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm on Ross's laptop. Ross is gone. Ross is sitting on the side just like on his fucking phone. Whatever. She walks away, then she comes back. She's like, play it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't know what plug walk is, right? And she's like, gets away, comes back, sends another girl, same shit. I go, I don't know what it is, same shit. Then the girl finally comes back. She goes, listen, you're a fucking old DJ. You're old and you're playing old shit. And I go, what the fuck?
And then you shut off the music and got off the mic.
I didn't know.
You see this girl?
Bro, she fucking storms off, pissed that I'm not playing plug walk because I don't even know what the fuck it is at the time. And I'm like, yo, I just got fucking called an old DJ, and I go, I am old, and I fucking load up Poison, BBD, and I'm dropping. Yeah, Errol and all our boys are like, everyone's all the same age. We're all like about to hit 40, like, you know, like it's all good. Like, you know, it's
a fucking wedding.
It's a fucking wedding, yo. It's a wedding. So it was another humbling moment.
Humbling moment. Old ass DJ Vice.
Yo, so
is it bad if you throw like a beer bottle at a chick's back?
I had to ask him.
What?
On the real, she fell. She fell later. I saw her.
fall?
She was drunk as shit, so she
karma.
fell. I was
There's
like,
a God.
She had
There's a
heels
God.
in grass.
Oh, yeah.
It was meant to happen.
There's a God. There's a God there. He's
There's a
watching.
God. There's a God.
Let's see what's going
There's a
on.
DJ God. There
Is
is.
it
DJ
okay?
God.
I think I'm going to say, is it
Karma.
okay? Is it okay?
No. Can you throw a beer bottle at
No.
someone's back?
No,
Not their head. The head is dangerous.
I would say you could throw water on them.
You don't have good aim to fucking aim from the back of the head. It's so
No,
close.
the head is harder
Is
to
it?
aim.
Yeah, this is part one. We still got a lot more coming. So do you want to do a little intermission and take
Yeah,
a
maybe
shot?
we could take a shot. Let's do a shot.
I actually asked D Miles the other day. I was like, yo, do you guys ever drink when you're doing the podcast?
We
He
did
said only
We
once.
did one.
Duce.
Twice, right?
Twice, yeah.
Once or
I forgot
twice.
about friends, and we did do
Is
say.
it-
Yeah. Ross
it's
won.
3 o'clock?
Ross
Yeah, we
one
could do this
drank.
3.
It's
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
Ross one drank? What, wine?
No.
Nah,
Vodka,
We were
right?
drinking vodka.
I think he
did
was like,
vodka.
he was like, yo, let me loosen up, and he took like a shot of vodka.
Oh, no.
Yo, so I ran
Straight
into
to-
you on Saturday, and I was like, yo, like, I love
At the Rhino.
at Clase Azul. I was like,
Yeah.
that's my shit. And you're like, no way.
Yo, so this is my intermission. You know, this goes into like a whole nother subject.
Speaking of plug walk, yeah, let me hear about that.
So I'll say the true story. The true story is I got asked like a lot of DJs to be on a campaign for a tequila brand, and I was like, yeah.
First of all, a lot of DJs don't get asked to get
no,
to be
there's a
ambassador
lot.
of
You
tequila.
see a lot of
right?
ambassadors
Yeah.
right now. You see a lot of ambassadors.
It's only Vice.
I haven't gotten that call from 1942 yet.
He said it. Okay. So I got my bad. Let me drop this. So I got the call to be down with the tequila brand.
So your uncle called you,
My
huh?
uncle called my fucking Raul. I was like, oh, it's dope. Like after all these years of Patron and drinking all this shit, like I finally can get like paid to drink some tequila. And I'm big on like representing my brand correctly and truthfully.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, that's not really my favorite tequila. I'm being this is completely honest. And I was like, I really fuck with Clase Azul. So what I did was I hit up Andrew Goldberg, who you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yo, like I know. My bad.
Well, we're spreading we're giving away the tequila
passing out
shots.
shots right now.
This
Hold
is
on.
like Costco on the
Passing
low.
out shots. So before we drink this, I was like, yo, I want to meet someone from Clase Azul. Like I want to like talk to this brand before I get down with another brand. And they're like, all right, cool. Long story short, sat with the owners, talked to them. They looked at me like I was fucking crazy. They were like, you want us to pay you to drink our tequila? And I'm like, no, it's more than that. I can do this. I can do that. They're like, we don't pay anybody to drink our tequila. We don't even pay restaurants to put it on the shelf. We just make good tequila. Start drinking. They start getting a kick out of it that I don't speak Spanish. They're like, you're Mexican. Your parents are born in Mexico. You can't speak Spanish. And I'm like, nah, like I don't speak Spanish. We go in, we start talking. 3 hours later, they're like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to work together. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's figure it out. And they're like, and we're not going to be able to pay you the money the other brands are able to pay you. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm good. Like, I just want to drink what I want to drink. Like, I want to be down with it. And another long story short, after I went to Mexico with them, I learned how tequila's made. I learned the whole brand, and I was like, this is why I fuck with this tequila. So I've been drinking this.
Was it Jalisco? Or?
Yo,
I went to Jalisco.
this shit better be good, man.
It's good, bro.
Because I hate tequila. So
The thing is, like, I've been to Jalisco, and that's where they make the good tequila at.
Yeah, well, it's just like any tequila. It has to be made in Jalisco, in the tequila region. Just like if you drink champagne, it has to be made in Champagne region. If you drink cognac, it has to be made in Cognac region.
tequila is what, based from agave?
Yeah. This
This
blue Weber
bottle's
agave.
crazy looking.
So hey, to us being able to do what we fucking love to do.
Nice.
My man.
I like that.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you, Vice. Thank you. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's really good.
Smooth.
God,
It's
damn,
smooth.
it's good.
It's smooth. It doesn't have that
No.
Yeah. Wow, I don't.
right.
D saying it's smooth, but he looked fucked up.
He's like, it's one of the smoothest things I ever had.
No, I just
No, I love it.
So what's
It's just good.
so on top of that, like to be truthfully honest, is that now that the tequila's kicking in, is that I'm also representing a brand that no one else is representing. Mm-hmm. I'm like I stepped away from
Yeah, but it's
the pack.
it's authentic because you
It's
like it.
very
right?
authentic. Like I do honestly, I'm not making the money I would have made, but I really don't care. I'm a longer term. with the brand that I like and that I believe in.
Dude.
And that's the same way I've always been.
I really hated. There was a group of y'all. It was like you, Deluxe,
Yeah.
Syph, Big Syph.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big
Yeah.
Syph, Deluxe.
Yeah.
Man, y'all would just keep repping Patron.
And we got no dollars.
Yeah, but it was the worst shit ever.
It's Patron time. Remember that Swiss Beats drop that we all had?
You guys all had that, and I was like, "Yo, these guys keep drinking this fucking awful shit." And it was to the point where I didn't want to come to the booth to say hi,
Yeah, 'cause you
because
knew
you were
to
gonna
get-
give me a shot of fucking Patron.
You
Not
wanna
to
know
shit on
what- you wanna
Patron,
know
but
an
I hate that
embarrassing
shit.
story? I thought, and I don't have any tattoos. I don't think any of us in here do, huh?
I do.
Okay, I thought, like, maybe I'll get the Patron, like,
Oh,
little
Jesus,
thing right
bro.
here.
I'm
Like,
glad you didn't do it, man.
I also on this trip to Mexico, I also learned. I asked when I was out there, I was like, "Yo, like, am I just like stupid that I used to drink that much Patron? Like, was it ever good?" And they explained the story of like the brand separated from its distillery 5 years into the brand, so the tequila actually changed. So when we first started drinking Patron, like all of us did, it actually was a brand called Siete Leguas in Mexico. Damn, I'm sounding so Mexican now. Look at this.
The funny thing,
That's a pretty good accent.
no,
I
right?
can
The
pronounce
funny thing,
it.
he can say it,
I
and
can
it's really
say shit.
good.
I can say my fucking
He
last
can
name,
roll
bro.
his R's.
Aguirre, puto. Listen,
He can't say he can't say azul. But
yeah, it's a little sketchy.
he
Even
can't
though
say azul. He's like azul. I'm
Yeah,
like, what
azul.
the fuck?
Darren, say azul.
Azul.
Say azul.
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 Gesundheit.
There it is.
Say azul.
Thank you. Azul.
So Patron used to be good, and they just it's owned by like Vidal Sassoon or Paul Mitchell.
Paul
That's what it
Mitchell,
is,
yeah.
Paul Mitchell.
That's
owns it.
even more
Yeah,
reason not
yeah.
to drink
Yeah.
that shit.
So it got-
when motherfuckers who make shampoo was making your liquor, that's a problem.
That don't
dog.
sound right.
So Obi-Wan is and Five are like the first DJs that really took me under their wing in Vegas. And Obi-Wan's story is like when we first started playing Body English, I would order vanilla, Stoli, and pineapple. That was my drink. Bro, 1 to 2 of those, I was good. That was my shit. And then Obi finally called me out. He's like, "Yo, bro, you can't drink this shit." I remember he's like, "You can't order a vanilla, Stoli, and
It's like,
pineapple."
it's like a thought drink, no?
Yeah, it's like a little fucking thought drink with an umbrella on it. And my whistle was swirling. It went, woo! Every time he drank. It was fucking, woo! It was like every time I sipped. So he was like, "Yo, you gotta drink something else. Like, you can't drink this." And I was like, "Fuck, I'm Mexican. I might as well start drinking tequila." So I really didn't like
Wow,
start
man.
drinking till like 2004. Like in Vegas and Body English. Yeah, I drank a little bit, of course, like here and there.
But
and
it
shit.
became such a big part.
But hip hop, it was fucking hip hop.
It was, but I will say it was because what did I mean? I met you in 2005.
Yeah.
and then throughout the years, it became a larger part of your whole.
They're drunk already. They're dropping.
I try to be smart. I was like, y'all tell you, he's like, no, just
That's
throw
only
it.
one shot.
Well, like it became a big part. I feel like it became a big part of like
Of a brand, right?
of the DJ Vice brand, the
Tequila.
Patron, right?
true.
The shots, and then like also bringing in tables, entertaining people.
Yeah.
And then I remember,
It's kinda-
did it become? Was that natural or did it become too crazy? Because I remember at one point you were like, "I'm not drinking."
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
were like
yeah, yeah.
sober for like 2 years.
For like a year and a half almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I don't want to say like it fucked with the brand.
Yeah.
But you were like,
God,
fuck.
you're good, bro. You're a fucking good interviewer. You're
No.
right.
Yeah. Well, I was like, it
You're
kind of
fucking right. Right now.
Well,
You're
so,
hitting it.
like,
well, here's the thing.
shot.
It's like when you saw Vice, right? He was the dude. It was like a fucking party in the booth. It was like
It was an experience, actually.
You're
In a good way,
charismatic.
yeah,
You're a
yeah.
charismatic guy.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, like it's crazy. It's turned up. It's almost to the point where the dance floor was just like watching y'all,
Like
wow the fuck
like
out.
we want some of that.
It was like the DJ booth was the VIP section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And then it was Patron. It was Patron time, Patron time. And it was just like,
Like 17 dudes.
yeah, 17 dudes.
Unfortunately, yeah. Right?
Okay, so
And then wait, and then at a certain point, I want to know what happened. I want to know when you said, "Look, I got to cut this liquor shit out."
Yeah.
But when he cut it out, it was like all of a sudden it was quiet.
Crickets.
And I want to say like,
You want to hear the real story?
And at a certain point, I feel like you were like, "Fuck, I gotta drink again. This isn't
Yeah.
working. Like
Yeah.
this is I've made this brand of being like the party guy, and now I'm like You know, now people like expecting the party guy.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Vice, yo, let's do a shot. Like, oh man, I don't drink.
And they're getting the DJ. Like, oh man, he's just fucking DJing.
Yeah.
So here's the real story. Because I love when people say, oh, I stopped drinking. I'm like, why? They're like, nah, I'm just taking a break. Like, come on, bro. Chill. Something happened.
It's health related.
You did something. Yeah.
I think you told me this story before. It was during the Lavo days.
Oh yeah, it's Lavo days. So going back to I started really like drinking in 2004. I look at Body English and I look at the Hard Rock Hotel as my like. I went to college. I joined a frat. I was Friday nights Body English resident, Saturday night Tao resident, Sunday night Body English Sunday school resident. So I was in Vegas Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've never lived here. I've had a place here, but I've never lived here. And I was living in the Hard Rock Hotel. That's fucking crazy. Like that's mind blowing to me.
And this was during the rehab days when it was crazy.
Crazy.
It was a party hotel.
So I went to I had my own frat room and upstairs of the hotel. So I'm drinking, I'm partying, I'm learning how to drink with everyone, and I'm like, this is fucking nuts. Like, so drinking. Lavo opens, I'm doing Lavo, and it's New Year's Eve weekend, and when we all play like 6 gigs in a row, or like it's gig after gig after gig, and I remember my girl was asleep in the room waiting for me because we're supposed to fly out on vacation, and I was out, and I remember being, if you're in Vegas and you're a local here, you might see it. There's this fucking extended, stretched pink Hummer that is still my worst nightmare. Because I remember jumping into it after Lavo, and I was like, and everyone was like, we're going to the Rhino. And I was like, I'm not going to the Rhino. Drop everybody off at the Rhino and take me to my hotel. And then I fell asleep in the pink Hummer.
Like hangover.
Like fell asleep in the pink Hummer.
The driver gonna wake you up or something?
I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm asleep. I'm dead asleep. He drops everyone at the Rhino. I wake up and the fucking car is driving down the strip. And I'm like, bro, take me to my hotel. He's like, I don't know where I'm supposed to take you. And I'm like, the Cosmo. At the time, the Cosmo had just opened. He takes me to the Cosmo, and I'm like, oh shit, we definitely missed our flight. We definitely missed our flight.
And your girl was tight.
And my girl was like, yo. And she's like, we missed it. And I always
But what time was that flight?
I think it was like a 6 a.m. or so. It was early.
What kind of shit was that?
Yeah,
man?
7 a.m. maybe. I'll give it 7 maybe.
That's
yeah,
not,
it's still early.
That's
it's
not
still
your
early.
fault.
But you
set yourself up for failure.
100%.
You blame.
I had a fucking
Hummer,
but hold on. Lava was fucking popping.
He tried to blame that shit on a pink Hummer.
I know, right?
No, because that Hummer scares me. That Hummer scares me. I've seen it. So like Lava was popping. We had like I started a b-boy circle at the end of the night. Omarion was in it. Afrojack was doing windmills. It was like some other shit.
It wasn't Omarion, it was me. I was just
No, Tory Lanez was in the building.
and we get back, and I remember, and I'm like, fuck. Like, and I knew like I fucked up, and I'll own my own shit. I'll whenever I fuck up. And my girl is on Truth has never said stop drinking or don't drink. She's like, yo, just get your shit under control. Like, you fucking we missed our vacation. We're supposed to go on vacation.
Life coach.
And I was like, all right, I got this. And I was like, then I started going through, like, if anyone's ever tried to not drink, like, you just go through the...
detox.
Well, not detox.
Withdrawals?
It was more like this. Nah, I don't even have that because I only drink when I'm DJing. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
I go through that. Well, maybe I'll do one shot a night. Well, maybe I'll do one drink and one shot. Maybe I'll do this. And then it was like, yo, in my mind, I was like, either you fucking drink or you don't drink. And I was like, and that was also the year I was getting married. So I was like, January fucking 1st. All right, no drinking. 1 month, 30 months. Let me just try and do no alcohol. And then you stop drinking. And then I stopped drinking. Then 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months goes by. I get a R.O.A.D manager. I get an assistant. I open up, I start my own production company. I start getting all this shit like popping like together.
Yeah, you were sober and productive.
I was just fucking productive as shit. Like boom, 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 boom. And I set up shop. And I'm also planning a wedding this whole year. So I'm getting like everything done. But you're right. Then my DJ sets are like, I'm not even looking up. I'm fucking staring down. I'm trying to do doubles again. I'm like super into DJ mode. And then I realize those customers that were coming out and popping bottles are like, well, fuck, we're not going to buy him 4 bottles of Ace. Or we're not going to buy him 2 bottles of Patron. We're not going to buy, like, it's kind of quiet. And then a club owner was like, yo, they went from saying like, hey, make sure you keep your drinking under control, like in the DJ booth, to like, hey, what's going on? Like, we got to step this shit up.
But so I have a question about that, because do you think you put yourself in a position where you became almost like a promoter?
Yeah,
And because like, you know, when I think of like certain DJs, like an AM, like he didn't give a fuck about what the club wanted to hear.
Right.
He didn't give a fuck
At all.
He didn't give a fuck about the tables.
Yeah.
He would just do whatever he wanted, and it was kind of like, it was just kind of like a very different DJ when you were very much like a promoter or like a personality,
Yeah.
like a DJ and like a / host.
I would cringe some nights because AM would finish his set like in LA at 2 on the dot, and they'd be like, cut it, and he wouldn't even like fade it out. He would just slap the fader down like, music's off, let's go. And I was like, oh fuck, like I can't even do that to this day. Like I have to like end a party on like a fade out transition, smooth it out, make sure everybody's good.
Right.
I'm a fucking people pleaser. I've always been. I know that's my strength and weakness. It's a strength and weakness. But when I didn't drink for that year, I learned from myself how to be like, yo, fuck you. I'm not drinking with you. Like there's so many times to this day, like that was when I like worked out for a muscle for a year that I never knew that I had, that to be like, nah, I'm good. Like you're the dude I don't even fucking know. You're the dude that's bringing me a shot that like just for your, like I don't need to take a shot with you, bro. I'm good. Like I'll drink with my friends, I'll drink with other people I want, but like it was like I really learned how to strengthen a muscle to be like, to say no. For me, that's hard. Some people have it in you, like, hey, you could be like, fuck you, that's what I do. Or you could be like, fuck you, I don't want to play that. Like, but that's, I know what my weakness is, and that was always it. I would just say yes to everybody. Yeah. I'll take a shot. Yeah. And it would be like, yo, chill. You're just fucking making all these other people out. You're not doing it for you. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because like me, I get anxiety thinking when I have to be a promoter, like a host, because I get anxiety because to me, like I have more control over the music and controlling a crowd.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like I get pressure. I feel the pressure of like, man, I have to like be this party guy or I have to do that shit.
Yeah.
But did you not feel that? Like, was it kind of like a blessing and a curse? But like, you know, like you're kind of like, wow, like I have to be this promoter and shit.
Not at all.
Really?
I'm truly enjoying it. Like it doesn't bother me, but I trip out when some people are like, oh fuck, I got to DJ again tonight. Like I like DJing. I've never not liked DJing. I've never like, maybe I'm tired and I don't want to fly or like I don't want to go to that. But like I've never got on and be like, oh fuck, all right, here we go.
But does it sometimes feel like maybe like when you go to in a night?
Yeah.
I know we always focus on the music. We're DJs, but does it maybe sometimes seem like I'm maybe focusing on the hosting or the promoting more than the DJing sometimes? Or is it just because of the pressure? You know what I mean?
I'm focusing on the crowd a lot. And I actually did some work recently with a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
To stop worrying about everyone in the fucking crowd. Because I literally will like look at the crowd and I'll focus on one person that's not having a good time. And my energy will go to that person.
Yeah.
And my energy will be on them, and I'm DJing. I'm like, fuck, should I change it?
Right.
Should I? They're not feeling, but there's 1,000 other people having a fucking good time. And I literally like, if you ever catch me, like I do it, I low pro, like basically like cut their energy off. Like I fucking have to be like, yo, don't worry about that one person. And that's the people pleaser in me. Like that's the gift and the curse. Like the gift is that I'm making sure everybody's happy. But like when that one person's not happy, I have to be like, cut it. So at the same time, when I'm having fun with everyone in the booth, like I'm still fucking reading the crowd. Like I'm engaged. I'm engaged. So it's definitely
that's definitely harder though when you're sober, right? When you see that one
yo,
dude.
Fuck that one dude.
Yo, when you're sober,
I'm so in my head.
Yeah, when you're sober, it's
head.
such a mind fuck when you see like two people not dancing or a table not feeling you.
It fucks your whole head up.
Whereas when you're drinking, you know, you get that kind of like not that confidence. You're just kind of more, you know, eye to eye with the crowd, right?
Yeah. And I will do sets where I don't even drink, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like if I have to like do some shit the next morning where it's like really like don't fuck this up, like make sure you're up, make sure you're operating. Like I don't have to drink, but like I'll throw some tequila shots back if I want to, and sometimes I throw too many back.
So when you were in your sober stage, and then we were like, yo, I got to get back to drinking. Was it a pressure applied by like the venues or the management?
I just got bored.
You got bored.
I just got a little bit like,
Because you were saying like, you know, like the tables weren't sending you 4 bottles of Ace of Spades, so the club has to be feeling some sort of way, like it's some type of way, right?
Something was mentioned to me, but I was more like, I had set up shop for like a year and a half, like production studio, assistant, the road manager started and all that shit, and then I was like, oh shit, like I had a flow, like things were starting to work, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll have a glass of champagne. I'll have this. I was like, only sake, only wine. I was like, I don't even drink wine. So like, it was just like more like me getting back into a comfort zone and be like, all right, I'm ready to drink if I want to drink now. Yeah. And to this day, like, I still know that I have that muscle to be like, I can stop if I want to right now.
Right.
I cannot drink. And I really only drink when I DJ. I'm not at home like, let me pour some tequila. Like, I don't fucking do that. I don't even drink wine. Like, I'm not even like, I'm very, my girl's like, let's crack a bottle of wine. I'm like,
you crack a bottle of wine.
I'm like, even if it's a good bottle, I'm like, it tastes like church.
Was it like you attributed,
like
you kind of like attributed that flow to like not drinking? So like maybe there's something to this. Maybe this is a good thing.
Totally. Like, So I think, you know what? For this long of a fucking ride, to start DJing in '92 and it be 2018, to just have like these little bumps up and down, like I have to have those shits to learn and to grow and to keep becoming who I am and shit. I still can't even believe that I'm fucking turning 40 in October and I'm still DJing like that. I'm still excited to do it. Like you asked me to do the podcast, I'm still excited to talk about DJing. Like it seems fake, honestly. A lot of people like I know people think this fucking dude's just like, it's not like it's never been a business to me. It's been a happiness. As gay as that shit may sound, or as weird as it sounds, or as I guess you can't even say that word gay anymore. As
you can say it on here.
No, as non-manly as that sounds.
I'm comfortable with my shit. It's just and I think for me, like I know like a lot of people are like, yo, how long are you gonna be DJing? I got asked that like 2 weeks ago by like family, other side of the family. I'm like, until someone stops paying me.
When you gonna get a real job?
Yeah, I had that when I was back in the day. And then when I got the radio check, then my dad was like, all right, cool. And I was like, crazy. Good, yeah. So it's been a long fucking ride, and there's still so much more to do, and there's still so much more I'm doing right now.
Well, you mentioned your production. You were setting up a production studio. Yeah. And you've been doing, what year was that when you set that up?
2012.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, I signed three producers to me, and I basically rented a studio in downtown LA that had 4 rooms. I had one, and then the other 3 guys had the other rooms.
So you like created a label, or what is it?
Well, we actually did create a label too. We have Flight Club Music.
Okay.
Which is
Flight Club's gonna come knocking that door.
I have it trademarked, bro. I'm good.
Damn.
So is Vice, and so is DJ Vice.
Wait, Vice has like even the channel?
This is a whole different shit. I'm trademarked before them.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
They're paying that check.
I've talked to them. I had to meet with them.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So when I set up the production studio,
wait, what was that meeting like with Vice?
Because I own the entertainment trademark of Vice, like as an entertainer, and they started throwing South by Southwest shows.
Yeah.
With Vice presents 8-Track, Rick Ross, blah blah blah, and like, so people were hitting me like, "Yo, you're throwing a show." I'm like, "That's not me." And then at the same time, I had dropped DJ, and I just used Vice, and then like the association started kind of crossing back and forth. Yeah. So their lawyer reached out to my lawyer and was like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And then we're like, "Hey, fuck you."
Did you send them a cease and desist?
No, because like, dude, they're Viacom. They're owned by like a major corporation. Right. So I've learned like lawsuits, and you're like, you don't fuck around with them. Like, you're like, they could drown me. They could just pull a lawsuit out and like ride it out for 3 years, and I'll go broke.
Right.
So it was more like, hey, how do you want to work this out? So it's more like you put your flyer. Every flyer you put out has to have your logo, Vice. And I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. That's it. And then add the registered trademark, and I have to add that too.
That's
so
crazy.
It's like there's so much business behind this shit that a lot of DJs don't like learn.
So you dropped DJ Vice?
Yeah, I was just DJing, and it was Vice, and then I got into my state where I was like, I started the label, the productions, and I was like, I've been a DJ forever, and I'm still a DJ, but I just like was like on some Diddy shit, I think. I don't know.
So all this is around the same time as production.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'll just change just to vibe. And honestly, I looked at it like it's a dope little branding moment just to like drop it and get people to be like, why are you not a DJ anymore? You're not a DJ, you're Vice, like da. I'm into like just making people ask questions and be like, why are you doing that? You're not a DJ? I'm like, I'm always a fucking DJ. Yeah.
So now you're back to DJ Vice?
No, it's just Vice.
Just Vice now?
Sometimes on the mic I say Vice, sometimes I say DJ Vice.
Check out my channel, Vice Land, too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you signed 3 producers.
So I signed 3 producers. I started working with them, learning how because I knew how to like produce, but I wasn't gonna spend 15 hours on a fucking snare and kick and like sit. I'm very comfortable with that. We had a conversation about this the other day. I'm very comfortable with that. I like to be as honest and transparent as I can.
So when you signed 3 producers, you scouted producers,
and then I moved one from Australia to work with me and got him a fucking visa and moved his wife. Like, I was like, you're so dope. Like, I'm down to work.
And he lives in your basement.
And Eagle Rock.
I invested a lot of my money into just trying to make shit pop. Like, and literally still in debt from it.
So, really?
Yeah.
Well, I want to.
What kind of producers were they, by the way?
Just more EDM to hip hop.
We had Sergeant Slick was one of them, right?
Sergeant Slick was one of them. Camo Golden.
So you listened to a bunch of DJs. I mean, producers, and then you just said, well, these are the guys I like.
Yeah, and then I wanted to meet with them and like see if I could sit in a room with them for fucking 8 hours and see if I could stand them, you know, and be cool with them and like be excited to work on music. So we had a studio in downtown LA and just worked on records and try and do music. And
so you just had him on payroll?
And had him on payroll and just try to work. I'd work on music with them. And
when did you start that?
Fuck. Yeah, that was like 2012. Yeah, 2012, 2013.
I mean,
and the first record we finalized was World Is Our Playground with Mike Taylor on it. And that was like, okay, I can put this one out as a single.
And it was 3 of you guys and you working on that, on music.
That was an EDM record, right?
It was an EDM record. And I went back and forth.
Vice, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it was a lot of
that's
fucking
a huge
money.
investment. That sounds like about $500,000 to me.
That's probably what I'm in the fucking hole still.
A year, but that's like a year though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, no, not a year. But I mean, it was a lot. But I mean, it was it was a learning experience. It's worth it.
They're not still signed with you?
No.
Okay, how long were they signed for you? Like a contract for a year?
We all worked. No, yeah, it was a year at a time. But I think we all worked together like 3 years, and then just kept trying to put out music and records, and then learning how. Even though I worked on radio and learning how to work records, there's so much fucking to it, and there's so much money that has to go. Even though you have that, then to put out a record and to invest the money in it to promote it, and then to get clearances on shit, and like, yeah, to get the artists I wanted was even more money if I want to get a feature on a record, and like, it just kept adding up and adding up.
Was it the money that kept you only on the EDM lane, or because you never did hip hop?
No, really? I realized like I would try and work with rappers, and every rapper that I first wanted, I couldn't afford because they'd all want crazy money to do a verse. And second time, the sessions I got in with rappers, even though I'm in hip hop, I felt out of place. Like, I don't smoke weed. I didn't drink in the studio. Like, I would try and like vibe in certain sessions, and there was no one that was fucking exciting me. Like, I want MCs. Like, it's so hard. Like, I want Andre 3000 on a fucking record. He's not like, I couldn't get him at the time. You know what I mean?
So like a Big Sean wouldn't work for you?
Nah, fuck no. Like, and I honestly, truthfully, I didn't have the hustle. Like, I respect A-Track so much because he goes out and finds these fucking rappers. And I'm like, who are these dudes? Like, where do you find them? How do you get? You know what I mean?
He was
like,
early on Kid Cudi.
He was early on all that shit. Like, yeah. So,
but what is it? It was also the time. I mean, the time people wanted EDM.
And also as much as a lot of people don't know, like, I've always been into dance, but more into dance like Eric Murillo, Roger Sanchez, like fucking
like
Kenny
music,
Dope,
real
house music.
Yeah.
And I've always, to this day, I've always wanted to break and play out of the country because it's still a goal that I have that I don't get. No one's fucking booking me in Brazil.
Yeah.
No one's booking me in Portugal. No one's booking me in anywhere in South America or in Europe. Like, the gigs I've played out of the country, they were just kind of like the open format-ish gig. You know, I just played Dubai like 2 weeks ago, and it was like still super open format. And I went to see Black Coffee the night before. I'm like, fuck, that's dope. You could play like, I could do it. Like, I could play like 2 hours of fucking house music and be happy. But I don't ever get that. You kind of always want what you don't get, right? Like the fucking rappers want to be basketball players and the basketball players want to be rappers. And I still want to play like a gig where I play like 2 hours of house music, where I could play real house music, where I want to play what I want to play. So I wanted to do dance music to get out of the U.S. Like, I'm blessed to play back and forth across the country.
Does that come into also, because I remember you used to do heavy on the turntables, and I remember I saw you at Playhouse and you had the CDJs. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Pissed everybody out. And I shouldn't.
Yeah. As a fan, I was like, yo,
nah, dude, you guys, can you relate to this? Remember that moment you were always fucking DJing in internal mode? I would turn around and a fucking piece of confetti would land right on the vinyl and it would go around and hit it and like, and it went, fuck. Or the fucking Afro tip would be on the tip of the needle on the shirt, and I'd be like, fuck.
I hate that. Yeah.
And it would just glide off. So it was like, I was always worried about the music shutting off, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna switch.
Even though you would do it on purposely, you were scared.
Well, like, do you think you have the same control when you're on CDJs?
Nah, I mean, I do now, but not my cuts. My cuts are not anywhere as close
to me,
and I'm not doubling and doing shit like that.
Yeah, because to me, the control is more important than the actual music shutting off. You know what I mean? Like, I think having that control and doing that, especially when you're doing like hip hop and different genres, I think that's like really, really important. And I think I mean, there's some DJs that are really, really good on CDJs. So I'm speaking for myself only. But, like, you know, when I'm on CDJs, I do feel slightly handicapped.
It's like you have a condom on.
Maybe even worse, you know. A condom on and a limp dick, you know what I mean?
Like, just hitting the spaghetti dick. Just trying to get in there.
It's true, though.
But, I mean, I think also at like, because, you know, we're talking about, when was this? Like, what year was this? 2011, 2000 something?
2012. I remember that because I would be at Playhouse a lot.
I know that the music was shifting towards EDM. It was definitely shifting towards EDM. And I think also there was this, I think, I know what you mean. You wanted to be like a festival DJ, right? You wanted to do big, because like even when you're talking like from your roots, you're like, wow, look at the DJ and look at how they're making these people react and the control.
Right.
And I see like what you want is a bigger and bigger stage. You want a bigger platform.
Yeah.
And at the time, probably EDM was maybe the biggest platform, right? It was a very like a growing platform for that. So like, I think also the stigma is like, you know, to be at the top or to be considered that DJ.
Right.
I gotta have the CDJs too, because there might be that interpretation of like, oh, he's a hip hop DJ. He's not
very
EDM.
much so. Yeah, like back then, everyone was like, oh, you're on turntables.
It's almost kind of like, you know, if we go back to like radio, you're like, nah, I want to do the clubs that AM's doing. I'm gonna get rid of radio.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's kind of like, wow, I want to do those I want to do those big platforms.
No one's putting turntables up
no,
there.
I want to go to the CDJs. So is that something that you kind of felt too? Like you're like, this is another stage that I want to go up on.
Yeah.
Like, and to get to the stage, I kind of have to change.
I mean, I played
a
EDC.
little bit.
I played EDC the first year it was here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I put turntables up, and I remember that.
I was going to ask you that.
I was in fucking internal mode the whole fucking time, back and forth.
Really?
Because I was worried. It was rumbling, and they didn't have like the right setup. Like the shit was like bouncing, and I was like, fuck. And even on that one, like the first drop, like the first big record I played, the fucking music shut off. And luckily it wasn't me, and I was looking at my laptop like, fuck, it crashed. Like, I'm on a laptop.
You made a video on that.
I did. That's how it started off, and it cut. And it was like, oh shit. And I was like, and really it was like actually the system, the equipment shut off. But it was like I was like, fuck, this is my fault. This is my fault. Like, but it really wasn't. But I mean, there was all those factors. There was the factor that I knew that in festivals, no one was fucking with turntables. Like, they weren't setting that up for people.
Right.
Snake's like the only dude around that actually uses turntables.
A-Track sometimes uses.
A-Track uses sometimes.
Diplo uses turntables.
He's on CDJs.
No, he's CDJs.
He's on CDJs.
What about Mark
day.
Ronson?
Yeah.
Is he on turntables too?
Mark?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I remember I saw
And no one takes care of. I mean, do any of you guys play on turntables still?
Yeah.
Does
All
anyone?
of us.
How much?
Once in a while. Yeah.
Fucking lie. I know the camera's on you, but don't.
I do.
How many times is the connection fucked up, or the art? No one services turntables that much anymore, do they?
I mean, I don't really go through that.
No?
Only time I go through that is when I'm in New York, because they don't give a shit in New York.
They're like,
the
fuck
equipment's
it.
the worst.
The tone
in New
arms
York.
bent and
the-
shit. You're like,
the
yeah.
equipment's
Bends the other
horrible in New
way.
York.
But you're right though. Going back to your point, it was a mixture of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like I've always worked on staying relevant because I don't want to stop DJing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always like maneuvered to be like what works
So it's more
for
like-
my brand, to be like truthful to it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I still can do some of the shit I do on turntables on CDJs, but not
Right.
everything. And also at the same time, I also was comfortable with the fact like no one gives a shit about me doing those doubles anymore in the club, and and that's all for me or for the 8 DJs that are there to watch me play or something like that. Like the times I do get into it, I start cutting a little bit. I'm like looking around, and everyone's like, "Oh,
No one
shit."
gives a fuck. If I
You were one of the first people I knew that was on Serato DJ. I think I
Yeah.
even came to like a workshop at Crossover.
Yes.
And how do you feel about the DJ Pro? No.
I actually haven't switched to Pro yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm still Serato DJ, but I was early on Serato DJ, and everyone still fucking hates it. And they're like, "Oh, I don't find." Well, you still scratch live?
Yeah.
I still use
started
Scratch
So
using
New
Pro.
York.
I just started using Pro like barely like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I'm heavy on.
I don't know. Like I would
Serato.
hear like horror stories of Serato DJ just shutting down.
The crashing power, like it just
Yeah.
starts moving by itself. You're like, what the fuck?
So I'm into figuring out like what's the issue. Like the other day, I like probably a month ago or 2 months ago, I took Deluxe with me to go down to Serato in downtown LA, and I was like, "Yo, what's new? What's going on? Is my laptop right?" Da, da, da. And Deluxe is like, "I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna stay on Scratch Live." I'm into like how can my shit get better? Like how can the show be improved?
You want to continuously evolve.
I
So
completely
you adapt.
do. I completely do. Yeah, because honestly, I don't want to get left behind in like you're the old DJ that doesn't know
Right.
what the fuck plug walk is.
You old ass DJ.
I was like, shit.
See, so like, so when you were like when everything was shifting to EDM, it was around the time like rest in peace to AM. You know, when he passed.
Right.
Did you think? Because we have this conversation a lot. Do you think that EDM would have been as big? And we know that AM played certain electro music
Daft
and stuff
Punk,
like
yeah.
that.
He played EDC.
But do you
too.
think it would have been as big if he was still alive?
I think so. Adam was a fucking rave head.
Yeah.
Like he used to go to a lot of, and he played shit to me like when we'd be at the crib, like Two Bad Mice and shit like that. And I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Well, no, but also, do you think like, you know, the kind of the EDM DJs that weren't DJing,
Yeah.
that were doing like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That were getting big money and doing all that.
Yeah.
Do you think that would have been as acceptable if he was still alive? You think he would have said something?
I think, I feel that Adam's show would have been still an AM show. Not a fucking rave EDM
But how do you think he
show.
would have felt about it? He wouldn't have said shit. He would have been cool with
Nah,
it.
Adam would say shit for sure. The fucking Twitter would be out of control. I think Adam would have been like more vocal on
But
shit
don't
than
but
any
don't
of
you
us
think
are.
that would have actually hurt everything a little bit more?
I think that whole fucking movement would have came here no matter what because
Yeah.
there was so much money behind it. There was so much money like happening in nightclubs and bottle service and all that shit. Like that people were excited for a new wave. It's a fucking wheel that we just keep seeing churning in here.
Right.
Like 10 years, it just keeps going and going and going, and the wheel goes. And like we know hip hop is gigantic right now, but like what's gonna be next?
Because I mean, like, you know, DJs like, I don't know, me myself, like during that time, right? You know, I played EDM, but I'm a hip hop open format DJ.
Yeah.
Never, you know, we almost took a back burner.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of like, you know, when people had that stigma on a radio DJ, right?
Right.
Like, oh, you're a radio DJ, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of got that stigma.
Yeah.
And then it was at a time where we were kind of in the back burner.
Were you okay with that?
Huh?
Were you okay with that?
I thought we were, I mean, to me, it was, I understood it was like, yo, this is a trend.
Yeah.
Or like, this is popping right now. And I think I was just, I don't know, like, I definitely was like wondering, because I always thought like, well, what's going to happen? Is
Yeah.
this going to change? Are we just going to kind of like, are we going to have to play these songs or eat it? I'm not going to lie. I like some of the EDM stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I played it. I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But the change of like DJs not DJing,
Yeah.
and all of this bullshit, and like the whole finger hearts in the air, and you know, motherfuckers,
Pianos and shit.
Pianos.
But the nightclub started evolving where it was more becoming a spectacle. It was less about the music, and it was like there was cryo, there was the glow dicks. What do you call it? The glow cocks?
Yo,
The ghost sticks.
Yeah.
No homo. I got a glow cock of DJ Vice. I got at Playhouse.
It's green.
Yeah.
Playhouse, the Playhouse green one, yeah.
And then like you know what I'm saying, like it became everything. I knew it was about the music, but it
Yeah.
became a
show.
bigger
A
show. But
Production.
and then I was like, yeah, like I was going along with it because I'm like, yo, I'm DJing. I got to make a living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you know, obviously it shifted to hip hop,
Right.
and then it just started coming back. Where even now those house DJs that were working aren't working as much, right?
Playing hip hop.
Now they're
Playing
forced to
hip-hop.
play hip hop.
Or
You know
Calvin
what I mean?
does a hip hop album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
was like, it's like funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
Hip hop funk.
Yeah.
so like when that shift happened, did you feel like because you want to stay on trend? Did you feel like, oh shit? Because you kind of branded yourself as a festival DJ.
Yeah.
Did you have to feel like you had to rebrand, or were you already on brand and people knew who you were?
I
and
feel I
stuff?
was already on for me, I feel like I was already on my brand, and it was like a fucking wedding. Like the music has just shifted again,
Right.
and I know how to adapt. I know how to adapt at any moment, even to this day. Like if someone throws me in a fucking senior citizen party, I know how to adapt and start playing the room and play the music. And I'm always about. For me, I'm always about fucking the ride. Like I'm about it. Like cool, gonna shift. Like I can go this way. There's actually the thing that's hard right now for me is adapting and understanding some of the hip hop and being like, don't be fucking in your ways and not soak this shit in. Like try and understand it, because I'm gonna keep using the plug walking. If I would have been like, fuck that, I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm not gonna. I literally that night was back in the room like, what the fuck is plug walk?
You didn't think of typing it in at any
nah,
point?
Fuck that. Nah, she was being rude. If she would have been cool about it, like, hey, it's a Rich the Kid song. Do you have it? I could have searched it, and Ross is like, I have it in my lap. He did. He's like, I have it in my lap. I had it in my laptop, but he's like, no one wants to hear that shit in here. I was like, all right. But I mean, like, I'm just like a fan of DJing, whether it's and I've always played everything. So whether it's adapting to this, adapting to that, I just want to like keep DJing.
Well, like,
I enjoy playing house. I enjoy playing hip hop. I enjoy fucking playing throwback shit, whatever it may be.
But like, so with your production, do you feel like, you know, do you want to produce hip hop, or do you want to continue with like an EDM sound? How do you want to do that?
I think
now that you see kind of like the music shifting a little bit, you know what I mean?
In the last like couple of years when I was like, because I'm signed to Atlantic Records now.
Oh,
so I'm signed to Atlantic
When did that
Records.
happen?
This is second year, and I'm year number 2 now. So when I got signed to Atlantic, in the beginning, it was kind of like, everyone was kind of like, yo, you got to find your sound. I was like, I don't have a fucking sound. I don't. And that's kind of one of the moments where I was like getting more comfortable with the fact like, my shit's never going to make sense, because my DJ sets don't make sense. They go this way and they go that way, and I play a Nirvana record, but I'll play a fucking hip hop record, and I'll play house shit, and I'm all over the place. And like they're like, yeah, but like every producer has a fucking sound. I'm like, I really don't care about having a fucking sound. I just want to make music that will resonate to me and that I like it, and that it'll translate to the crowd liking it, you know? So I really haven't had a fucking club smash. Everything I've been doing is just records that I've worked on with different producers and come up with and been like, cool, I'm into this shit. I like this vibe. Like, let's put it out, you know? So I think my music will still continually be this may be my only moment where I'm first and foremost about myself. Like, do I like this fucking song? Not being like, this is for them.
I think that's funny that you don't think you should have a sound.
I don't. Like, you know, when like Chucky came out, Chucky had his fucking sound as a producer, or Afrojack had his sound,
Steve
and like,
Aoki,
and Steve, like, does Khaled have a sound as hip hop or not? Besides his voice, if you took his voice off of his records, would it be like, that's the Khaled sound?
Kind of.
Yeah.
A little
Does
bit.
he?
I
Is
think
it hip hop?
Well, that's
He
the
kinda
thing.
has
I
this,
think
It's all
aggressive.
different producers he's working
I
with.
feel Khaled's just hip hop. It's like
Just hip hop.
It's very
Hip-hop.
no
aggressive.
particular sound.
I don't think he has a sound in the way like Kanye has a sound.
Yeah,
Or
you hear a Kanye
Premier
beat,
has a
ooh,
sound.
those drums.
Yeah.
You hear
You
those
know what I mean?
drums?
Or
Ooh.
Jermaine Dupri has a sound.
Yeah.
But don't you think that's when you kind of start establishing
Probably.
establishing establishing like an actual, when you do that, you create a name for yourself, because there is a sound connected to you and your brand. You know what I mean?
You're probably right, but
Yeah.
honestly, this is probably the point where I really don't like care.
You never try to focus on it?
I'm not like, yo, like we gotta use this. Like, nah, I'm like, I just more about like making good music with talented producers that that Atlantic's been setting me up with.
Well, now that you're explaining it like that, are you maybe like, because you're still a DJ at heart, right?
100%, yeah.
So are you producing stuff just as tools for your DJing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
because some producers, they produce to make this, to develop a sound and to create a movement of music.
Yeah.
But are you creating music just as tools for like, yo, I want to remix the song and I want to make it more like club friendly so I can play this shit, you know, and then all these other DJs can play it, you know?
Some of it, and some of it's like a label will pay me to get shit done. To do like, yo, a remix of this like Bozzy record, Mine, that's coming out like next week.
I heard it. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I think you had it in the video, right?
So I actually got to work with the original producer of the song.
Wow.
So so that's, and all that same shit. Like, I'm in these sessions with these dudes that are teaching me so much shit. So I'm actually working on records that'll enhance my set and actually give me my own, not sound, but my own fucking music in my set. And it's just another way to push myself, is like, yo, you're got to make fucking records that'll work for you.
Yeah,
I'm trying, you know, it's somewhat working. Like, I don't have a fucking smash hit, but like, they're playing now, and it also keeps me relevant again. It keeps me relevant again to stay out there. And once you have a record that fucking goes, your career changes again. The Chainsmokers' career changed after, not Selfie, but when they had their fucking radio record,
right.
like it changed for them, like hands down. Like it's so if there is another record that's gonna change and like I'm gonna get gigs in Sweden and fucking Norway, then I'm game. Let's go. Yeah.
I feel like the Chainsmokers did establish a sound.
They have a sound though.
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
a sound. Yeah. They have a sound.
Yeah.
They have a sound. All right, fuck it, I'm gonna get a sound, bro.
Yeah, focus on the sound, bro. Vice, we want you to get
But
up
it was
on that.
so different from what.
There you go, the sound. That's the sound.
There you go.
Clase Azul.
It's a round 2 shot time right now.
Let's do it.
That's crazy.
Are we good on time right now? Everything's
Yeah,
flowing?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We're like
good,
145.
good. Oh, good. I
Yeah.
thought it was a 3-hour session.
Yeah, we're
Who's the bartender this time? Me? And then you guys don't mind, right? One more?
Yeah, I'll take one.
You felt it. We needed one
Well,
more.
while you're pouring that, D, obviously you met up with D at Rhino.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about producers.
I wasn't eating chicken fingers. I skipped. That was the
Yeah.
first time ever. I swear.
But D, well, I mean, you were talking about, is there, I know you were talking with D about ghost producing.
Yeah.
And he was telling me like that's something you actually kind of like you want to talk about a
Yeah,
little
that's the whole
bit.
crooked. I was like, yo, like he's ready.
I'm comfortable about all that shit. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Like I'm not the fucking
You're not-
brain behind the computer doing everything.
You don't fake it. You're like, you're
Nah.
honest.
And
Oh, I thought you wanted to shit on ghost producers.
Oh,
I
thought-
think it's whack. Like when people say, "Oh, I produced this whole shit and this is my shit," and like 4 other people worked on the record. Like Kanye has a list of other people that work on his records with him too. There's engineers, there's other producers, and I'm not about that. Like, bro, you can search credits. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Right,
You can
right.
find out who worked on records, and I do that all day to find out who I want to work with, who can make amazing shit that I can be like, yo, can I sit in? Can we work on a record? Can we do this? Like, what my single out right now, Piñata, I worked with
Cap
Cooks,
G.
with Cap G, Bia. So let me explain that record after we take this tequila shot.
Well, wait, I'm still
I'll
a little
explain it.
confused. Are you shitting on people who ghost produce or who use ghost producers or
No,
no or
I'm shitting on.
He's being honest and open.
Hold on. I'll tell you what I'm shitting on. I'm shitting on the fact that people aren't honest about their music, and if you didn't do it yourself, don't say you fucking did it.
All right, so
don't say like, oh, I produced this
Alright,
whole
so-
record, and they're like, oh, that's.
but without saying names or anything like that.
Yeah.
What did you experience? Like someone coming up to you like saying like, "Yo, I did this and I did that."
Well,
and
I
then-
experienced it on Twitter when records started coming out, and they're like, "Yo, Vice didn't produce this shit. At Sergeant Slick produced it," and I would reply back, "Yeah, he did." And I sat in the studio with him, and we worked on this record together. And the dude was like, and this guy's Twitter back in the day was just like all on like calling out ghost producers.
Right.
And he literally hit me. He was like, "Yo, you're the first one to reply and say, yeah, he did do that record," and that I was there. Like I'm there. I've
Right.
watched Timbaland fucking work. I've seen them work like, and they have 5 sessions going on with other producers, and they jump in and say, change this, change that.
Yeah.
How about if we try this? So like all of us, our ear is so fucking good because we know what crowds want and we know what works and we know what doesn't. The dudes I work with in the studio, they don't go out. My boys, the Futuristics, I have to try and drag them to go out to a fucking club, and they produce Steady 1 2 3 4. And when I was with them, like their ears are so different than our ears. Our ears are trained to fucking read crowds and keep a party moving.
Well, I think there's also this perception from like regular people or outside people who don't really understand.
Yeah.
That like a movie, it takes a lot of hands to make a movie.
Yes.
Even back in the day, making like a Motown song, there was a lot of hands involved.
You watch those documentaries, right?
Yeah, someone came up with the bass line. They did something with the bass line, and it became a big thing, a big part of the song. 3 writers on a song.
Yeah.
Everyone doing whatever they could to make the song great.
Right.
Which is the main,
That's the main goal for me.
The main goal.
I'm not like, yo, and if
But
5
you
other
also-
people can make money on it, like, and we all like make money and good music comes out,
Right.
Like a lot of these producers that I sit in sessions with are sitting on so much fucking amazing music, but they can't put it out because they don't have an outlet. They can't put it out under their own name or whatever it may be, and they'll play me records, and I'm like, yo, I really want this record, and we'll try and get it out, and the label's like, no. We can't do this one. And I'm like trying to put artists on it, and they're like, no. And these producers that sit in day in, day out in sessions like it's their fucking job, 9 to 5s or even longer than that. They're sitting on so much music. So if we can be an outlet to facilitate that music as a DJ, then I'm fucking all about it. Yeah.
Salud.
Salud. Round 2.
Round 2. Can't reach.
So I think, yes, I'm shitting on ghost producers. Because and the new thing too is you'll get on like Spotify, you can see the credits on who works on records. Like you can right click, show credits. You're right. That's you're Mexican, bro.
I am. So I was just like,
yeah. So I think my whole
everybody's turning red.
What do you drink, Hennessy?
Huh?
What do you drink, Hennessy? That's some racist shit, huh?
I drink. I
Maybe if
usually
you said it to me.
when I'm working. I drink Belvy.
Belvy?
Yeah, and then when
with
I'm
water
like,
or with a
like a little splash of sugar-free Rebel.
Okay,
Yeah,
cut
I should
that
probably
out.
cut Red Bull.
Cut that out.
Horrible.
I tell him I saw somewhere that Double O Cool J gave you some diet.
Yo, how'd you read? You're good. So when we had those mixer meetings at Power back in the day, there was like 10 DJs, maybe more.
Was this like Botox LL Cool J?
Oh, really,
This
really,
is
really
like,
buff.
Nah, this is like In Shape. His book just came out about fitness and health and shit. So he came in and everyone's...
When was the Botox? Well, I don't even know if he had Botox, but everyone was saying he had Botox.
Did
'cause he was
Pharrell
looking
have
so
I feel like
lax.
the Botox was when
the Botox...
they called me Big L.
Headsprung?
Headsprung.
Headsprung.
2004.
That was the
04,
Botox.
0405.
Did he have Headsprung? I wasn't checking him out like that, but go ahead.
Hey. Hey.
He came into the mixer meeting and he was like, yo, like talking about his music. I forgot, maybe it was Headsprung when it came out or something like that. But I was like, yo, can I ask you some diet tips? And everyone was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, you just came out with a book, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so give us some diet tips, because my max was 210. I hit like a fucking rough point of 210 pounds.
Oh, so this
for
is
me
way back. Yeah.
So yeah, he was like,
what the fuck were you eating?
fucking
I'm about to
every
say,
taco truck after a
tacos?
club.
Were you
Carl's
still,
Jr.
Were you still in Eagle Rock?
I was in. I was probably. Yeah, it was like
the Tommy's right there.
Tommy's Burger. I used to fuck up. And he was like, if you ever eat a burger, take the top bread off and just throw the top bread away, and don't ever eat the bread that comes out at dinner. And I literally like owned up to that, and I didn't do that anymore, and I cut that out.
And you lost like...
I started losing weight. The time that I shifted to like really like drop weight, I actually said this at AM's memorial. AM had his surgery, and we were at AM's crib, and AM's like, I'm fucking skinnier than you fat motherfucker. And I go, what? I go, no, bro, you're not fucking, you don't weigh less than me, no chance. And he's like, yo, let's go to the scale. So we walk over to his bathroom, and he goes on the scale, and he's like 203. And I step up, and I'm 209. Wow, I remember, I look, I go, fuck. And he was so fucking happy. He's like, yo, you fat fuck. I'm fucking scared. And it was like, oh, shit. Big boy AM's actually like slimmer than me now. And I was like, fuck, I got to start doing something.
What was that relationship like with AM?
I used to kick it at his house so much, like late night, and he actually ended up living like not too far from me at the time. Well, early back he lived like in Hollywood, and I was in my side of town, but like he ended up living closer to me, so I ended up just like meeting up after gigs and just kicking it there and like ordering late night food to be delivered, and just fucking, he'd be on AOL, AIM. I would just kick it with him because it was someone else that was that into like music and DJing and like the life, the culture of it, you know?
Was
He
this when
fucking
you
real?
Was this when you walk in? He had the wall of sneakers and shit like that.
Yeah. With the wall, that was the first crib that I used to go to, the Wallace sneaker crib. And then he ended up buying like his own crib, and I went to that crib or something like that. So it was, but I was also a trip because, I mean, he was opening me up to a whole different like world of gigs and co-signing the shit out of me. So
were you a sneakerhead like him, or did he kind of rub off on you a little bit?
So he definitely rubbed off on me. I went to Japan with him on his first DJ gig when he played Harlem in Japan.
Yeah.
And
Harlem,
I went with him to that gig. So he was like, yo, come with me.
And you just flew out?
I bought my own ticket. Yeah, we were playing Body English at the time. So I flew out with him, and we went sneaker shopping, and he started like really showing me like, yo, buy this. This is a Japan exclusive. Buy this, buy this. So I was already starting to like get more. I was into like SB Dunks early, like 2000s, like Stone Mesa Dunks.
By the way,
my
I know
OGs.
we're speaking about sneakers, but I think your crossover crew's outside, right?
They are.
Your guys from
yeah.
crossover
Yeah. Security.
I saw you saying what's up. I
Security.
was like, who's he?
Security.
Waving to?
Yeah, I saw. They always come by when we're doing podcasts for odd reason. It's like the third time. You just see him walk by.
There's a lot of avenues
So
to my shit.
we're recording at noon right now, and crossover. Your shop in at the Cosmo, right?
Yeah.
Right next to Marquee. They carry some of our basics out over there. So
Yeah.
like some of our lines. So
By the way,
they come over here
I
to
wear
pick
the
up some of that
basics.
shit.
I wear the basics.
What inspired you to start crossover?
So 2000, was it 9 years ago? 9 years ago, we opened crossover in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Really like, I've been into shoes like that, and I was like, how can I get shoes earlier? And then at the time, with the partners that we opened up with, 2 other partners, we got a spot, and the fucking floodgate opened. Like, it was crazy because the year we opened it, I knew Errol from Nike, like I mentioned him earlier.
You went to high school with him or some shit, right?
Yeah. Well, his cousin went to high school with me, and he used to drive and pick us up like after school. So when we opened crossover, it was right when the first Yeezy came out. So it was like
09.
perfect fucking timing.
Right.
And that came out, and everyone in Santa Barbara came together. There was nothing like that out there, so everyone came. And then like 7 months after that, Kobe was doing a camp in Santa Barbara, and I got to interview Kobe at our store. So the fucking store just like took off. And then 2 years into it, Cosmopolitan opened, and I was doing a walkthrough with the owners of Tao Group, and saw the spot, and I was like, yo, I can open a crossover in Vegas. So I talked to the management of the hotel, and they were like, I don't know how lucky you are, but there's one spot open, and it's next to the nightclub. And I was like, yo, that's ours. Take it.
Was there always something in the back of your head that said you wanted to have a sneaker store, kind of a little bit?
Or even a boutique
Well, I just
store?
wanted shoes early because I was trying so hard to get shoes that I wanted shoes early. There was no business plan behind it. There was no nothing like that. Like,
I remember like when we opened new, and then we had like our first event during Magic, right?
Yeah.
I think the Beat Nuts were performing or some
The
shit.
Beat Nuts and the Alcoholics.
Yeah.
Beat Nuts and
Alcoholics?
we got the Beat Nuts and
Yeah.
Alcoholics there.
That's
And
dope.
I remember I texted Vice, and I was like, yo, come by the shop if you can. And you actually were like, yo, I'm busy. Let me see if I can make it.
Yeah.
And then he came in for the first time, and I think it was with your girl. And I think you were like, yo, like you saw the shit. And I think it planted ahead in your seat where you're like, yo, I could do this.
we
Or
could
like,
open Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like we can open a sneaker spot or something, right?
Yeah. Was this before Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then, because I remember afterwards, you were so excited.
Yeah.
You were like, because I remember your girl came up to me and she was like, you know, it's one thing to be a DJ. She's
Yeah.
like, but to open a store, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then and then you were talking, and I think it planted a seed. And then, remember Ken? Shout out to Ken Davenport.
Yeah.
He was
Sweet
he was
160.
he was running our shop. And I think you were like, I think you hit him up or something where you guys were talking.
I was asking questions.
You were asking
everywhere.
questions,
I
yeah.
came and visited. I was asking questions. I was like, can we do this? Can we open a sneaker store? Like,
Yeah, but it definitely
I
something
have
was
no
in your head,
experience.
right?
My other partner had no. All 3 people had no retail
Well,
experience.
me and never have
Yeah.
no retail experience either.
Sometimes it's the best because then you're just like, fuck it,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
figure this out. Like, let's really work to figure
But you
this
had
out.
that in your head, kind of maybe, because when you went to the shop, you were already like the wheels were turning in your
Yeah.
head. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
I
these
think-
motherfuckers could do this. I could do
I
this.
could do
Like,
this.
yeah.
I think that's one thing that you can't teach people is just to fucking go for it. Take the chance. Like
Yeah.
to not think about like what could go wrong. It's more like what could go right and
Right.
really like go forward. So probably seeing that shit like, oh shit, these
just do it.
fucking DJs are doing it too. I can do this shit. Let's open in Santa Barbara. So we opened in Santa Barbara and we're about to hit. This is over 9 years now of business and it's a fucking headache.
Why Santa Barbara?
So in LA, there's just oversaturated. There was no way you can get a Nike account. And my whole thing was, if we're gonna open a store, you only can open with a Nike account. For us,
Yeah,
I
back
was
then,
like,
yeah.
you can't
Holy
open with
grail.
the
You couldn't get one in LA?
You can't open with a Creative Rec account, and that's it. Like for us, it was like, it's not gonna fucking work.
In
back
LA,
then.
in LA, you couldn't get one of those
No, there were
Hyperstrike ones?
No, there were so many accounts all over LA that they wouldn't open you. And the gap between LA up to basically San Francisco was like empty. There was one store called Tradition, and that was it. So we were the only way that
Tradition in the Beverly Center?
No, they opened in Beverly Center eventually,
Okay.
but they were in Calabasas, Thousand Oaks. Or
Oh,
something
okay,
like that.
cool.
So yeah, so really, it's like taking that chance of trying to fucking open a store and really figuring it
It's
out.
not easy.
Like,
It's not easy.
not easy, and also it's it's dope to take those chances because I like all those failures. I have so many before this.
It's scary because your name's on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Vice's store crossover. You know what I mean?
Still. So people are like,
what about how'd you come up with crossover? Was that
it was EPMD,
Oh, okay.
Strictly Underground Funk, beat the crossover. Yeah, it was that, and then it also
basketball
related
relation,
basketball relations and all that kind of shit. Yeah,
that's a good ass name.
It all came together like that.
I have a question because you're one of the few guys that has a Nike account.
Yes.
And I've heard so many horror stories with Nike. I love Nike though. I don't want to shit on Nike. I'm not here to shit on Nike.
Send us 11 and a half over here all day.
But it's not easy having a Nike account.
No, because it just keeps all the good shit you want.
So wait. I want you to take us down the road of like, yo, I'm opening a store.
Yeah.
And then like, yo, we got a Nike account. And then you go to the meeting and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
You want to eat the prime rib and the steak over here?
Yeah.
You got to hit the fucking buffet down here first and take all that shit.
Yeah.
Take all the other shit.
I don't even think it's like that. I think it's like, oh yeah, you want a steak? Well, you got to get this table, and this table costs this much.
Yeah.
And after you get that table, you have to you have to bring this many people to that table.
Right.
And then it's just like nonstop. And then after
Swallowing
all of these like
and feeding you.
Then you gotta get the
feeding you.
appetizers. And then after the appetizers, then you get the main dish.
Right.
and then by the time you're full, then they're like, oh, okay, we'll give you that steak that you finally wanted, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how retail is overall. A lot of the brands I wanted to get, we couldn't get.
Yeah.
Like, and having Nike down the road, like, it was a lot of fucking work to try and keep them happy. And the more hype you have on the brand of your store, the easier it is, of course.
Right.
But as longevity and the longer you're around, it's like, if that hype's not around the store, it's like, all right, where else do we go? Like, who's the hot shit on the street? So,
but I remember when Crossover opened, you guys kind of came in hot.
Yeah, for the first 2 years,
4 years.
That's how we were able to be like, all right, let's open Vegas and come in. And still to this day, I feel is that this is my bragging moment. I feel that we're in Park Place on Monopoly with our store. Yeah. We're in fucking the coolest hotel on the strip. Out younger mixed crowd is a little bit of.
But for a long time, Crossover was like the only sneaker store in the strip that was kind of with the cool quick strike shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like House of Hoops and.
But when we opened. Compared to now, if you count the amount of accounts,
well, you still had like Sweet 160, right?
I think that was it.
But that was it, and that was like off the strip.
Yeah.
Well,
that was deep in Summerlin.
Nah, but
they weren't at Mandalay Bay.
And one in Mandalay Bay. That's right.
Think of how many stores. Think of how many accounts are up and down the strip now. There's so many.
Yeah.
Shoe Palace and I mean.
Yeah, but they don't have your account.
But I mean, but still, there's only a handful of people that know what's cool.
Wait, what account did you get? Because you knew Nike, you knew R.O.A.D from Nike.
Yeah.
And then I know it was hard to get a Jordan account.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Tier 1.
Yeah. Tier 1.
Yeah.
How did you earn that? Like, how do you get that?
I honestly think it was probably the fucking cool points of the fact that I'm out here DJing.
And you're DJing, right?
I'm DJing, and it was more than just the store.
So what is the Tier 1 account? Like, break it down.
I think it was more like the super limited exclusives. We only got them every so often, though. We weren't getting every fucking exclusive like Undefeated gets, to be real.
Right.
Like, they get everything. They have that strength, they have that power, they have that brand. Like, we were getting certain ones, and we have to fight for it. Like everything else, you'd have to fight for those releases to come. Still to this day, you have to fight for those releases and get them in if you want them. So, I mean, the good thing about all this is that I ended up meeting all the Nike Entertainment reps, and now I'm on Nike Entertainment branding. So you
get free shit.
So like Epic Reacts and shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now like it opened the door to be like I went to
this motherfucker literally opened a store just to get sneakers.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's
fucking genius.
That's really what it was.
Is it genius though?
Motherfucking genius. Yeah.
I really wanted.
It sounds like a big pain in the ass.
Early.
Right? It sounds like a big pain in the ass.
I'm gonna give it to Vice though, because when I worked at Riff, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
He would actually come and consign his old shoes and use that credit to buy new shoes.
Oh yeah,
he like recycled his shit. I was like, what? That's only a sneaker thing. Like,
I wouldn't take the check. I'd be like, or maybe my son wanted to sign that. My son's the same size.
He'd be like, yo, just put it in my son's tab. I was like, okay, cool. But he would do that sneakerhead shit, which is like he recycled his old shit to his new shit.
Yeah.
But that shit was
I just had to downsize my sneaker collection. That hurt because I was moving. I was moving houses, and my son and I went through the whole collection, and I think we were like almost 200 pairs. Wow. And my son's the same size. And
only 200?
Yeah, I've downsized like every so often. Like, yeah, I'm not that bad.
What was the most that you had at one time?
Well, I think ish. I've only been in the 200 range. I've
really?
never no. I've never like because I wear.
How much did AM have?
What was his collection?
A fucking sneaker warehouse.
It was.
I feel like he had a house.
No,
a house with nothing but sneakers.
I think he had like 2 bedrooms.
No,
full
so
of
when they did his auction of his shoes, I remember I saw a few certificates with over 1,000.
Wow. Easily.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Because some people would try to bring him to Riff and be like, "Yo, it's an AM shoe." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's about 3,000 of these motherfuckers out there."
Yeah.
Let's make a margin of what's good money.
What is good money?
What's a good cap?
Because Vice money is good
Vice
money.
is good.
I remember I saw
AM set that standard.
one thing.
AM set that standard.
One thing that I read is that you got $1 million deal at the age of 26.
Yeah. AM set that standard, and he opened that Pure deal for that $1 million contract.
Right.
And I'm very comfortable with saying it now that he opened it for me.
Well,
my work wasn't. I mean, I had to work more nights, but the contract was that.
Well, you were like, when AM was number 1, you were 2. You were number 2.
But I don't even
Strong too.
I accept that. I take it. Thank you. And I don't know how that happened. I don't have a reason like, oh, I did this
really?
and I got.
Come on.
For what? For being what? Was it brand association?
You're being humble right now. Do some Kanye shit right now.
Be
Talk
ignorant.
your shit.
Tell me.
Talk your shit, motherfucker.
How about this? How about the fact that, like what you said, when I would come into Vegas, I was the first one on the mic. I was like, I was one of, not the first one on the mic. I take that back because War and Peace and
Mr.
Bob.
But they
Mr.
wasn't
Bob
but
were rocking it.
But they wasn't really doing parties in the strips.
True.
They wasn't doing like the hotel parties. That's what
Okay.
I'm talking about.
So
Wait, Warren P? I thought they were doing R.O.A.D shit. Like,
It was.
It wasn't.
I know they had like a local
Raw was
party,
dope.
right?
Raw was dope.
Yeah.
I think they were up there. I mean,
It was like
were
more
doing shit
local. I
on
mean,
the strip.
more like
I remember being there and seeing
more
them
like
at-
bottle service clubs.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I'm
right.
talking like
I think that what I was doing though was a step away from what AM was doing. Like I wasn't emulating his set.
You know what I kind of put it? I feel like AM was like Batman.
Yeah.
And you were Superman. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Like we were. Yeah. So I was also told. I remember one time they're like by someone that was paying, like, you're like the affordable AM. And I was like, I didn't know how to take that.
AM?
I was like,
Hey yo,
damn,
I'll be the affordable AM anytime, bro.
I was like, how do I
It's
I'll be
nothing
the
wrong with
bootleg.
that.
I'll be the Walmart AM anytime, bro.
But I also invested a lot into like my game. Like I hired a tour manager. Like there was like at the time when Vegas, like I remember that moment that was tough for me to be like, I'm going to start traveling with someone else. I'm going to not be up there setting up my laptop. This is before the EDM wave and all that shit. I was like, I'm going to not set up my laptop. I'm going to not have to like be the end of the night unplugging my shit and do it. I just wanted to be like, how can I elevate the fact that they're paying me more?
Does that really fuck up your night though? Setting up your laptop.
I just don't want it at the end of the night. I don't want to be up there doing. I want to come in
Really?
and I do this shit to this day. I'll go.
Dude,
and
I'm
set
the,
a table.
Bougie.
I'm the total opposite of Vice because I don't want to talk to anybody.
No.
See, so I'll go around.
Yeah, we
I go to
see,
tables. I
you're
run
the
around.
exact opposite of me. fam.
Yo, when we
Vice.
go see Cricket, I don't even like to say hello to him because he's so in the zone. He ain't
I don't
playing.
wanna-
You tap him, he don't give a fuck.
Vice, I tell you, when I watch you DJ sometimes, I get anxiety.
Because there's too many people around me
So many
talking
people,
to me.
and you can't I can't focus on the room, and it's just like crazy to
you're
me.
like shaking hands,
1 minute you're in the
kissing babies.
He's talking. He's having like full conversations with
Yo,
motherfuckers.
how's your
It's
mom
still
doing?
it's still rocking the crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm
He's
turning around like,
yeah, but the song's
No,
going to
I'm-
like the third verse, and he's talking to some motherfucker, and I'm like, and I want to go up there and be like, just change the song, and like, get the fuck out of there, B. And he just continues talking. man.
That's a skill in itself.
Yeah.
It is a skill. I always talk about that I'm not that motherfucker that can talk. And like people take it the wrong way. They come up to me and they're like, yo, what up? And I give them this face like, fuck off. But it's
Yeah.
not fuck off.
No,
it's just
dude.
like, let me get back to the DJing.
Yeah, like I'm working.
I'm the same
Yeah.
way. You got to stay focused on the crowd. I can't really talk to anybody. I just hate that. Just
I'm
like,
multitasking.
leave me the fuck alone. Let me DJ.
No, I'm telling you, like, Cricket
You're
is one of my
Superman.
good
You're
friends.
Superman. That's what it is.
He'll be flying, taking selfies
Kryptonite.
in the crowd, coming back to the booth.
What's my kryptonite though?
You know, no, I'm saying Superman.
Tequila.
Tequila and tacos.
Superman is kid friendly.
Yeah.
He's like you said.
Yeah.
He never becomes a villain.
He's never
No.
a villain. He has this like true justice, the
right.
American way. And then I don't know what the fuck I am. I'm like the Punisher, or I'm like some really dark ass character. You know what I mean? I get the job done. But I don't make friends
Sloppy
along
as
the way.
fuck, bro.
At all.
You know what
You
I'm
like
saying?
Batman, like you
You're
get the
like
job done,
Spider-Man.
but you don't want
I'm
the
not
credit.
even good enough to be Batman.
You got
I'm
a
like
dark
I don't know. I'm like Hawkeye, or I'm like one of these like sub characters.
Hawkeye.
Cook is like in a full-on sweat when he's DJing too. He got a
Dude, it's a workout in there.
I don't make it look cool. I don't
It's a
make it look
cardio.
cool.
No, it's definitely like it's scary to say bye to you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we were the other night, we went to Omnia. I was like, he's like, yo, let's go say bye to Cricket. I was like, nah, let's just.
Oh, you just dip without even saying like.
Good, you give him a go wave from afar. Like,
Nah,
he
nah,
doesn't
we
even
get
give
it,
you a
bro.
wave. He gives you a nod. He's like, cool.
nah.
But-
it's because you don't want to take him out of his focus. That's my whole thing.
No, you work. Yeah, I've watched.
Well, I mean, so like back to you with AM,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to go back to this number 1 and number 2 because when he passed, I always wondered if you felt any pressure to like carry the torch.
I don't feel that I felt pressure. I just felt that
Because
like
from our perspective,
yeah.
Yeah.
we were like, we kind of like turned to you, like, you know what I mean?
What do we do next, Coach?
I didn't think that though.
You know,
so
like
that's
when
the
like
good thing.
Obama passed, like you were Joe Biden.
Yeah, there it is.
We were like, yo, Joe, what was
What we
good?
doing, Joe?
Yeah,
What
what
we
we gonna
doing?
do, Joe?
Where's
You know what I
Osama
mean?
at?
Yeah.
And I felt like that, but I always wondered, like, did you feel that pressure?
I didn't feel it, honestly. I did not feel it. I felt that.
Did you
like,
know you had that kind of pressure from others coming towards you?
I didn't feel. You know what? I
Like-
do. I did. Yeah.
Like
I
that
did.
look,
People
like, what are
at
we
me
doing
like-
now?
But how did you,
Okay,
like, what
like-
kind of pressure was it? Like, I wonder.
I think it was more just the fact that first of all, I was fucked up. Like it like really bothered me like when he passed because none of us expected that
Right.
at all.
Was you like on vacation or you?
I was on my I
your
just got
honeymoon.
engaged. I was on my engagement trip with my
Yeah.
wife, and Adam had hit me a couple days before he passed, and he hit me and he's like, "Yo," like that. I was like, "Yo, I'm going to Paris with my girl. I'm engaged. I'm gonna get engaged." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Yo, take a vacation, Mexican. You work too much. You work fucking too much, or something like that.
That's
like
crazy.
take some time off or something." I was like, "All right, like cool." But he actually said it to me then on text, and then when he passed, like. I was like, wait, what? No, that's not real. That's not real. Like, nah, no fucking way.
There was
Like,
no signs.
There was no signs at all. I on my side. I mean, other people were closer to him than I was. Wasn't the closest person in the world, but
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. I personally didn't see one sign of being like, oh shit. Like,
So you couldn't believe
let's-
it at first when
Like
you
we
heard
got to
the
worry
news?
about this guy, or like, hey, like, are you all good? You know, like, cause I didn't ever have to ask him if he was all good. He had to ask me. Like he's told me certain times, like, yo, you're fucking up. Like,
Right.
chill out. I saw you at Body English last night. You were drinking. And you're like, yo, just chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like pre.
Oh, he would do that to you.
Yeah.
So
or
he kept you on check.
kept me on check. Or pre like that I'm with my girl when I was with my son's mom. Like he'd be like, yo, don't fuck around, bro. I know what you're fucking doing. Like he'd call me out on shit. Like he would just and I never had any friend like that.
Right.
Like that was like, oh shit.
Big
like,
brother.
Yeah, and I even have a bigger brother. But I'm like, but AM would call me out on shit. Like AM would
Right.
just check me. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. Like make me feel like a little kid. Like, fuck, dude.
So you didn't believe it when you heard the news?
So yeah, so I didn't even see that coming. I didn't expect it. And when it did all settle and clear, like I didn't take it in the sense of like, oh shit, like now I have to step up. I just was more like, let's respect the fact of what he's done and like where he's taken this shit to.
Right.
I didn't think like, oh, now here's my turn to come in, and I'm not. That's not the way I think. I just more think like, all right, this is like what this dude, the standard he set. Like,
Yeah, just
how
follow
I
that.
honestly, I can't even fucking. That's the standard that I'm like, I don't see that where I can take it because he was breaking doors open left and right.
Right.
So I don't like. I'm not breaking doors open left and right. I'm just DJing and trying to open a shoe store here and doing shit like that. But like, his is more groundbreaking. He was doing different Coachella, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" with Travis Barker, and like there were just so many levels.
We go back to the earlier in the podcast, right? When we talk about the guy who says, I can't do it.
Yeah,
And you're saying like, I can't do it.
true. So there is definitely
and there's
there's
you know what I
definitely
mean?
a side that I can do it. There you go. I
Yeah.
like that. You're coaching me now.
No,
No, it's true.
I mean,
Full circle.
But he was breaking
I-
doors that now they're open in a sense. Like there's all the EDM DJs are in
I'm just
Coachella.
letting you know we were championing you.
Dope.
You know what I mean?
Thank you
You
for
know what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, and you know, like we were looking to you to kind of set, like, you know, not lead us, but you know, like set the tone for what the next.
Keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, to keep the ball, like what the next
When
couple
Shaq
years,
left,
you know.
We looked at Tristan Kobe like, what
I
are we
look
doing
at it
now?
like
Shaq
to
and
Jamie's point, like when Jordan retired, it's like, oh shit, okay, Kobe.
Okay,
Here he
Kobe's
He's
comes.
that dude, you know
Here
what I
he
mean? And he
comes.
probably didn't feel the pressure of carrying Jordan's
Yeah.
torch.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
did.
public was looking to him like, this kid is 17 years old. He's a Laker. Like, he's about to be the next dude.
I
You know what I
also
mean?
feel that there's so much like different talent in DJing now. Like you see like the Jay Espinosas, or you see the Miles Davis doing like routines of like
Miles Medina.
sorry,
Miles Medina.
let me
Miles
take that
Medina.
back. I was in my jazz mode.
I was like, yo.
Miles Davis got a son.
Sorry, Miles. No, like you see like the Miles Medina and like doing routines and all this, and like, and there's these 3-style battles now, and there's like these Serato battle DJs where they can flip shit and tone shit, and there's the 8-tracks, and there's like, I've always just been like, yo, I'm a party rocking DJ, and like
I love
like,
it though. I love that shit.
that's-
I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
like I'm just more into like that lane of that, and if that is championing it, then that's dope. Like I still have my residencies in Vegas. I'm still working. I'm still DJing. Like if that's carrying the torch, and it's still open format in the way that I still play a little bit of everything, and maybe I go with waves and I bounce around, but like I'm still working, and I don't even see it slowing down for me in Vegas, and I don't see like it shifting. Like, oh shit, I'm getting left behind. I still think there's a lot more that I can do in the DJ world as well.
Moving forward for
Yeah.
the DJ culture, do you feel like you gotta, like you want to do something, like even like an affordable thing, like a Jan Sport and make a DJ bag, or what do you, like, is there anything you want to do to push the DJ culture forward?
I think after doing this podcast, it makes me want to push forward as a DJ. Because it's been a minute since I sat down with like a DJ crew. That's why why I want to do the podcast. And is because I feel weight on my shoulder, because you were like, yo, you know that it looked at you next, and I'm like,
yeah.
I've felt that maybe, but I've never been told it.
Right.
Like I've never been told it until I sat in this room and you guys look at me like, yo, like what's next? And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on.
because in a way,
I gotta run with my daughter tomorrow.
because in a way you do kind of have that, you know, that position where you can make those moves. So that's what I'm saying. Like even making your own DJ agency, if probably like some exclusive shit like that. Do you feel like?
I feel like I feel like I want to like help more, because we didn't have this help at a younger age, like DJing. Like I got like there's this DJ Micah Paul, and he's like I met him when he was like 12 or 13, and I kind of keep him under my wing, and like I mailed him headphones the other day and like shit like that, like to try and like help DJs to come up, because, or like Tina T does her camp spinoff, and I'll go out there and like speak or something like that.
Right.
I think it's more on that level where it's like there's such a new wave of DJing coming out that if we can actually help or guide them in some way, then I want to try and do that. So maybe you're right. Like maybe it's a more affordable. I'm still down with Toomey though. Hold on, I'm trying to do dance.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, like Jazzy
Yeah.
Jeff just came out with his like he designed that one controller,
Oh right,
and
yeah.
it's like $250, and I'm like, dude, that shit's mind blowing,
Yeah.
because not even a fucking Serato box when I started was that much.
That's exactly, yeah. I think there's a lot of doors that I just gotta keep pushing. Like I do that electric taco show where I roll around and get tacos with different, and that one's more just about like a positive spin of like how you came up on your career and what it was that took you there. Like everyone from Roy Choi to being a chef to Travis Barker to George Lopez. as a
Maybe
comedian.
next time we're in LA, we could be on your episode.
There you go. I don't know if I have enough room. Yeah, we got seats. We got seats.
You got seats in the Tesla?
Yo, can we just like, can you just confirm for me what the best taco spot is in LA? Because not in LA. Sorry, not LA. Vegas. Vegas. Because
I would say, what's the one right there next to the Wynn?
Tacos al Gordo.
Tacos al Gordo.
Gordo.
Yeah.
Gordo.
No, there's some
Gordo.
there's some across the street right here by the strip club. Like it's really good.
See how everyone gets like proud of their shit? They're like, no, this is my spot.
Well, in LA, which one's your favorite spot?
Tacos La Reina. It's on 7th and
Downtown?
Mateo in downtown. You're in downtown a lot. But she got kicked out of her spot because the rent got too high,
And
so
she
she
put
got
a
a
lunch
truck right
Yeah.
out front. That shit's legit. That was
Have you
El
had Leo's?
Pastor.
Have you had Leo's?
Leo's
tacos?
is yeah. Versace Hang Glide. I did an episode with Kyle there, Super Duper Kyle, and he told me that he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Versace Hang Glide." And I go, "What what's that? And I told him we're going to do Leo's. It's right here. He goes, no, we call it Versace Hang Glider. And if you watch, they
wait, what Leo's is that one?
On La Brea and Olympic,
one.
is it?
Yeah, no, I go to the one in Echo Park.
Oh, see, there's 17 different Leos.
Yeah.
Just like there's Albertos and there's Alfredos and there's all this.
Yeah. What do you think about Leo's?
Leo's is legit. Leo's is legit.
Have you had Becca's in East
No,
LA?
see, this like gangs, bro. Tacos of LA gets really street. No, that's why I started that show. Deluxe was actually the first person that I had on the show, and I rolled around with him just to try it out, and it worked. I got the idea off comedians getting coffee. I hope I don't get sued for that. But I took that idea, and I'm just like, yo, like, might as well put some cameras in the car and roll out and like take people around and get tacos. Yeah. So that's just more branding again. Like, I'm always just trying to brand and like how I can get and enjoy it at the same time. Like, who the fuck doesn't want to eat tacos? And the people I ended up rolling with, I've learned something every time.
Yeah.
Mario Lopez, I asked him the same thing. I was like, yo, give me your diet tip or your advice. And he was like, yo, just break a sweat every day. However you do it, just break a sweat. I was like, motherfucker, you look like you're 22 still.
He still looks like he was just shooting Saved by the Bell.
No, that was a crazy one. That was dope. So I mean, I hope that if anything like now after this, it's honestly,
Or
I feel
DJ school.
I feel some weight. Now Beat Junkie's got that covered.
Well, I went to that shit. That shit's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like I've always had a thing in the back of my head about healthcare.
Yeah.
Because I remember like when I first moved to Vegas, I forgot, but I think there was a Japanese DJ in LA who passed for cancer. Or no, they were doing something for
what's his name?
Cancer. It was like DJ Hero or
Hideo.
DJ
Hideo, yeah.
Oh, Hideo.
Yeah.
From the Beat.
And
I grew up listening to him, man.
And I remember they were doing like some type of party to raise money for healthcare. And then rest in peace to like Risk One.
Yep.
There's a lot of dudes, and I always thought that healthcare with DJs is such a shaky fucking thing. Like,
there's no 401k.
Unless you step up on your own and like, I'm gonna invest the money into it.
Yeah.
But
so I've always wondered, like, if I was in a position, or if anyone was in a position to actually maybe think about or like see
like a universal healthcare for DJs.
Like where like everyone pays like $50, $150 a month.
Because it's shady too. Healthcare is shady.
It's mad shit.
It is. And dental.
Like I have healthcare and I have it for my daughter and everything like that. And I don't even take her. I take her to like holistic shit that I end up paying out of my pocket for. I'm like, this makes no sense. I have healthcare for her, but I'm like, I don't even trust the doctors that I take her to.
It's
like,
the what ifs,
I'm
right?
gonna go here. Yeah. It's crazy.
You're paying
for. But majority of DJs, don't have it. It's the truth.
And they don't have like any like known how to save money.
We don't even learn that in high school. Like no one teaches you that shit.
Yeah.
Like no one has that set up.
One of these days, I think like that would be dope if we could all like come together and like set up some type of healthcare.
I would love for that to happen, man.
Yeah.
I'd probably take like 200 DJs or.
You're probably not gonna believe me, but I don't have healthcare set up. But I've been trying like brainstorming an idea of like DJ kind of conference, but like not on some like. Here's the Serato and here's this. It's more like, yo, everything else outside of it. Like the fact that I've been
invoicing and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
that and the fact that I trademarked my name before I really came out as a DJ. Like I would have been fucked. Vice Media would have crushed me if I didn't ever trademark it. They would have been like, oh, you don't have a trademark? You're done. Like change your name. Like that way. And a lot of people like don't have that trademarked. So there's just like, and I have the trademark lawyer that I've dealt with since day one. Like I've trademarked Electric Taco. I've trademarked all the Life of No Hablo. I've trademarked just because I learned so early that like someone could come in and be like, I'm going to trademark that. So actually I did get fucked is someone trademarked Vice clothing before I could trademark it. And they own that now.
Really?
So and there's no way to like the dude wanted $350,000. And I was like, are you kidding me? You have a store in downtown LA that sells like ghetto ass t-shirts that like and he owns it. He took the trademark early. So there's the whole business side of things from healthcare to trademarking to invoicing to how management should work to how booking should work, like all that shit. Yeah. So I think it would be a good
be interesting.
Yeah. It'd be dope. Would you go?
Huh?
Would you go?
I would definitely go.
If someone paid me to go, I'd go.
We could do a live podcast at the event.
No, I would go. All
right, free tequila on me.
I would go, yeah.
Yeah.
And tacos. I got tequila, tacos, shoes.
You never thought of opening up a taco shop?
No, I do. I think about it. I do, but then it's like, yo, like, fuck, there's so many good tacos out there. How am I going to top?
But what about in Vegas, bro? There's really none in Vegas.
It's very, yeah. We're gonna do a taco tour.
Yeah, we can do.
We're gonna do a taco tour in Vegas because I have not properly done it yet.
Let me know. I get my mom's recipes. We gotta go.
There it is. Street corner tacos are always the best. That's what's up.
Fucking Jamie, always thinking about his fucking
food.
Speaking of that,
anyway, man, yo,
all right.
Vice, thank you so much, man,
Thank you,
for
man.
coming
Appreciate
through.
it.
We
Thank you,
appreciate it, brother.
I broke the record of longest podcast.
No.
There it is.
Thank
Chop
you
it down
so
to
much.
45 minutes. Hey!
Peace
We
out.
out.